Well, hello. Welcome to a very emotional Out of Order show. I am your storyteller extraordinaire, Michael, aka the Vindicated One, aka this is gonna be really tough. I do not know how I'm gonna feel about talking about this. Obviously, I think we're going to touch on some things that I've been needing to address for some time, and yeah, just crazy, man. Crazy. Oh, god damn it. Let's go back to nope. There. Okay. So yeah, I am gonna be yapping about some video games. We're gonna be talking, watching, discussing some Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 because some news has come to light as of a few days ago, but then today there was a kind of like a drop announcement. So yeah, that's something that we definitely need to just kind of go over. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a rough one. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely gonna be not the easiest stream because of how this franchise, how I'm like irrevocably tied to it. But we'll go over the dev diaries. They seem pretty short, so it's not going to be too long. And then we'll go into like the history of like how this all played out. So without further ado, hello, how y'all doing? Hope you guys are having a good evening. I have been so busy. I'm working like practically 12 hours every day, and so the streams have definitely been a little bit lackluster, and I do apologize, but that's because I am trying to, like, you know, when the money's good, you got to take it. So all this is doing is just furthering my hobbies, and hopefully from there I can, you know, afford nicer things that can either A, improve my life, or B, improve the stream. Like, I kind of want to get like a cool new, I want to get like a new camera, but you know, that's not important right now. What's important right now is that we talk about some vampire stuff. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 finally got an announcement at Gamescom opening night live, which unfortunately I watched it later on, but I did not check out the trailer. I did not react to it, so I think we might do that. We're gonna go over some of the stuff that I've been missing out, because I'm very conflicted about this. I'm very, like, this is not easy for me, to say the least, because there's a lot about Vampire the Masquerade that you guys should know, and obviously it's a tabletop role-playing game that has had some success outside the tabletop role-playing game with various games and licensing, and it inspired a lot of, or at least not Vampire in particular, but the IP holder, World of Darkness / White Wolf, inspired a lot of I would say a lot of the general pop culture that would spin up from like gothic 90s sci-fi. One of the major ones that just kind of pops out, Underworld is a major one, has a lot of Vampire the Masquerade themes in it, like with Covenant and like clans, and especially like the Lycans versus the vampires. Like that is definitely a theme that is explored in Vampire the Masquerade. And one of the other major ones is the Matrix and Dark World, like very reality bending, warping, like punk aesthetic, goth. Comes from like Mage, the Ascension, and then like Hellboy. I would say Hellboy 2, the Golden Army, and like the Undercity, and like all the fairies, and the, like everything that like Del Toro does with like showing that aspect of the supernatural. Fairy Kingdom is like very Changeling of the Dreaming, really good, real like almost like exact like I would visualize going into a Changeling sort of city underneath Los Angeles, or no, it was underneath New York. So there's been a lot of problems with this game, this IP, everything about it. But I won't go into that. Right now, we're just going to go into just the raw, like, I haven't reacted to the Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2 announcement trailer. So we're going to go and do that. So let us get into that. Bonk. Where is there? Go here. Okay, so coming October 21st, you are the Nomad, an elder vampire awakened from a century-long slumber. New to the modern nights, trapped in your blood is a strange voice, mysterious entity, a vampire detective known as Fabian. Is it Fabian? Will be your guide to the 21st century Seattle. Yes, it is actually coming out this year. It is actually real. It is a real game. People have played it. There's like a whole, like a bunch of media just came out for it. Last month, the Game Informer had a what's it called? A deep dive, which will, I don't know. I have to pay for my Game Informer. I think I might do that this stream. I want to take a read at that just because it's been, there's a lot of I was either going to go two ways with this game. I was either going to go completely like media silence, completely go black, and then like have zero expectations for Bloodlines 2. And then the day gets released, like call out all my obligations, like do a 24-hour stream or 12-hour stream, whatever the stream limit I can do realistically, and just go full bore into this and like dissect and criticize every bit of it, or kind of take a look at the history and like read what the devs have been doing, because they've released all these dev diaries, and I was keeping up with the dev diaries on their Discord, and I never watched them because I was saving it for like this type of stream where I would actually like go through and look at every single dev diary video that they did. But there's also a lot of like crazy history because this game got like prematurely, it didn't get canceled, it just got completely shut down, and then a new developer kind of came in and had to redo the entire game. because originally the guys that were going to do this game were from Seattle. It was the original Bloodlines developer. If I could find out what their original, the history, not Bloodlines to history. And I have like unfortunately, not like totally unfortunately, but I have like a lot of proprietary like knowledge of a lot of the going ons, because I was like really keeping up with, like, you know, I was obsessed, you know, trying to get every little bit of information that I could get available. Like, I reached out to the original developers, which was Hardsuit Labs. And then Hardsuit Labs were, unfortunately, they got dropped, which was like kind of a really messed up thing to do for them. And like they got like the original, like the guy from like, you know, the voice for the so the original developer for Bloodlines 2, he did the voice for the news on the TV. I actually met and spoke to him a couple times, like during this whole development of the game, right? And like, you know, they talk about like Troika, and then you know, how like they got a hold of the source engine for the first time, and like it was like kind of like a crazy ass experience. And then finally, like when they got a chance to do this, they had like this big blowout. I remember Dan and I going to the last E3, which was 2019. 2019 was the last E3, and we went to the PC Gamer show, and that's where I ran into, it's a Brian Mitsuda. This was his name. It's Brian Mitsuda. He was the original game designer and writer for Bloodlines, the original game, and then he ended up going to, you know, making this game. And then yeah, it was just like completely, yeah, from 2015 Mitsuda worked with Hardsuit Labs on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 as the narrative lead. And then there was also another lady who I met. She was also working on as a narrative game. Let me see if I can find her real quick. She's on my Instagram and I messaged her a lot about like, oh, like what was the experience like? You know, is it, you know, it's kind of crazy that you're working on this like crazy, you know, like beloved IP. And like, obviously they didn't give me the full story because that would break NDA and stuff. Claire, there she is. She currently is at, she has her own studio. Yeah, she writes for Gravity Well Games. But she was originally hired on, where is it? Originally she did like video essays for Kotaku and Vice UK. Here, game development. Yeah, right here. She was the senior narrative designer. Kara Edelson. She was the seed linear device, and she also was contracted by Akron Studios, the guys who did Dishonor. And so that's like that's how like the connection was made. I believe was that she had done that and as a contractor, and so that's why they gave her this position. She was a senior narrative designer for Hardsuit Labs' project Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 until she left the project following the departure of Brian Matsuda. And so it was like that was in 2021 they announced that she alongside Brian has joined the Fumari Paradox development team at Anomaly Games. So it was crazy. This development was not the best. So the fact that we got a game, that we're getting a game out of this after, and I believe if I remember right, the Chinese Room, they did something. What did they do? I'm like, is it like Everyone's Gone to Eden? Is that the... No, they did originate a mod team for Half-Life 2. The subsidiary of Sumo Digital. Okay, so what did they do? They did Dear Esther. Oh yeah, that's what they did. They did Insomnia, March of the Pigs, Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, Little Orpheus, Still Wake the Deep, Still Wakes the Deep. Oh, I saw a speed run of that. So yeah, it's like this is like their first ever like big vampire, like big AAA, looks like their big AAA game. But let's see, let's go to media. Let's see. Yeah, pre-order announcement trailer. Let's take a look at this, because I've not seen this. I know it was at Gamescom opening night live or whatever. So let's see.
So weary is the wanderer that treads on the fertile soil.
Okay.
Your reputation is legend.
The city flowered in fire, and in fire she will end.
Oh, wow.
Listen.
Shut up!
Play as both Fabian and Pyrie.
Now, this is something. Fire, can you... Oh,
Fire.
guess I found my body.
Detective, is there something you need?
How's the case? Hot leads, cold bodies, reheated plots.
Oh my, I think I know what you are.
See, that's the Malkavian.
They say trouble comes in pairs, detective.
Or watch Seattle burn again.
In pairs.
You are not the only one who has had strange dreams. I see a garden, and I have met someone.
But that would mean...
Who is he?
Okay.
It brought you here, my fire. My fire.
Okay. So, all right. So pre-order, good evening. Oh yeah, these are all the September 3rd. So Fabian gameplay trailer, August 20th. So that already passed. So I guess we got to go back to the world. Let's go back here. Let's go back to the World of Darkness YouTube. The Fabian. Am I pronouncing that name right? Fabian?
My name's Fabian.
Yes, I was right.
I am a vampire.
A vampire.
Malkavian by blood.
Malkavian.
Benny.
I've heard of you.
All good things, I hope.
I have heard of you.
And I was, and still am, a detective.
Fabian, are you out on the trail of a conspiracy? Why am I asking? With you, it is always a conspiracy.
Matter of fact, I just started a new case.
It's a curious one. There's a girl.
Isn't there always?
Figure it out, Fabian.
Hey there, Big Ears. What have you been listening to?
Hey, detective. Yeah, I might have heard a thing or two.
You know, Fabian, sometimes I'm not sure how you keep your job.
Just unlock the door for you.
Hey, Dominique.
What are you hiding?
Why the hell would it matter what you remember, Fabian? It's not like you can change the world.
You don't really know me at all, do you, detective? I could be a torturer, a mobster, a serial killer. But you never did notice me, did you?
Did you kill detective for a cigarette?
Okay, so you're playing both this nomad and you're playing this nomad and this Fabian who's a Malkavian. Interesting. Okay, this one actually I wanted to look at because this was released today, I believe. Yeah, 11 hours ago. So Jason Carl, my relationship to him is very interesting. I don't think he likes me very much. I feel like there's a lot of people in the Vampire Masquerade community that are very pompous, and rightfully so. You know, there's a lot of people who put in a lot of work to keep the community going and keeping the torch alive, the flame going. But I feel like there was times where I have genuine love. I used to. Maybe I don't. It's kind of complicated. But I had genuine love, and I shared a lot of like vulnerabilities with a lot of these folks. And I feel like they either saw my vulnerability as a weakness, or maybe a cry of desperation, or it really wasn't, you know, they didn't really care about my contribution or what I could do in order to make the World of Darkness a better place for players. Whether I didn't contribute to their overall goals, or I didn't fit into their plans, and really, I think that's the part that I got confused and lost, and I've been trying to kind of work my way back, is that I don't need them. I didn't need them. You know, there are such thing as gatekeepers, and don't get it twisted. There are gatekeepers in every facet of hobbies and things that you love. But I think, you know, they couldn't take my storytelling away. They could definitely reframe it. They could definitely mute it. They could definitely ignore it. And I think that's what drove me crazy. Was I wanted to show people that my stories were not only entertaining, but very introspective and a little bit silly, but in like silly in the good way. Like silly as in like how people connect with certain forms of media and they just immediately are like, oh, I get that reference. Or, you know, they don't feel like something is like this dark and serious plot and tone and universe can be brought up to, you know, make a Dragon Ball Z reference, right? And I really felt like these people were stifling my ability to, or at least I believed that these people were stifling me. Like there was a conspiracy, and there wasn't really a conspiracy. That was just my obsession kind of turning toxic to the point where I felt like I worked really hard to make these streams, these roleplay streams, and at the time there was like hardly any. I mean, Critical Role never existed. You know, I tried really hard to like create a production that, you know, try to make like a weekly episodic story that people could, you know, find, you know, troops in, take different sides, you know, doing deep dives and like behind the scenes sort of stuff, doing RPG sort of like turns. And all that being said, right, I think this guy, Jason Carl, was like the guy that I really, really thought could really take a shine to me. And I felt like I probably just annoyed him. And I probably still do annoy him. And if he possibly sees this video on YouTube, or if someone like shows him, you know, no hard feelings. But, you know, I guess what it comes down to is like I was in a weird place. My obsession for this game was at an all-time high just because like the return of Vampire, like, you know, just holding out, like just holding out for something, just anything, like a crumb, right? There were whispers. I would go to E3 and I would go to the CCP party and I would meet with people at CCP and I would always be like, where's that World of Darkness MMO? Like what happened? Like when you guys going to come back with a role-playing book? Like what's going to happen? And then, right. Then, you know, there was the New Orleans Masquerade ball. And that's when they announced that Vampire was coming back for like a 20th anniversary, and like Onyx Path was doing all this stuff. So it was like, oh my God, there's like all, you know, it's kind of like a combination of all the rules coming back. And, you know, it was just every year, just it kept on growing and growing and growing and growing. And I was like, I want to be the world's best storyteller. I want to like, I don't see that much media on YouTube or on live stream about this world that I've obsessed over for half my life. And I wanted to, like I said, I feel like I became so, you know, I just knew the people who were the people to talk to. And I felt like I either pushed myself into the conversation or I made myself like obnoxiously, trying to find the word, like obnoxiously, like a spotlight, an obnoxious spotlight on myself. And like whether or not I delivered or not, that's completely irrelevant, because I don't think I ever had a platform to begin with, except in my own head and the players that I was playing with. But this guy, Jason Carl, like he was the guy that I tried to really ask to like essentially be part of the Cool Kids Club. And then like eventually when 5th edition came out, and then, you know, the original World of Darkness Entertainment came out and he was a part of it. And then there was like the Shane and the guy who was the CEO, Tobias, and all these other people, some of which are no longer around due to the culture of tabletop cancel culture, all that stuff. And, you know, I just wanted to, and, you know, there's still a part of me that's like, I still wanted to be I just wanted to be in the room. I was like, I really felt, and this is like the part of in the title that you're watching, the Entitlement. Like I felt like I could contribute something so special to 5th edition and everything that like a revamped World of Darkness. And then, you know, all those things, all those edgy people. Oh my God. Like, I don't even know if I have, I mean, I was following this writer and like I think she like dropped off the face of the planet on Instagram. I would like, she would message me and be like, oh, I have like all these crazy ideas for like the Anarch book and and I was just like, God, like, I don't know, like, what you, like, there were certain parts that were like, every time, like, I would see her post something, I would just be like, ooh, that's a spicy meatball. And and she was like one of the main contributors to this project. Let me see if I can find her. God, it's like going back to your Instagram messages is kind of crazy when you go this far back. Holy moly. And I even have one from Jason Carl way back, way back from 2019. Wow. What the heck? I gotta like delete some of this stuff because yeah, Nicole 6. I don't know what she did. I think she wrote part of the Anarch book, and there was a lot of people who were like contribute writers, and they're not the sole reason to blame for what happened, but it got to the point where there was a lot of bad things that were being written in those books that were, at the time they're like, oh, let's be edgy, let's be cool. And they just didn't really either they were too arrogant to read the tea leaves of like the culture at that point, or they were trying to take a stand. And obviously they drew a line in the sand and they got blowback. And so obviously those people, they had to re-edit Vampire 5th edition to take out the subliminal things about the Nazi stuff and the fucking, oh my, was it in the Camarilla book that was like the rounding up the what's the polite way to say it, rounding up it was in one of the, not third world, it was like, is it Hungary or was it in, basically there was a thing where like the Ventru were basically like, oh, we have like this is how we can use our blood, and they're like, oh, we can do like ethnic genocide of like homosexuals by rounding them up and like drink their blood because we put them in concentration camps. And it's like, oh my God, dude, I get you what you're trying to do, but that was just like, there's like, you could be a part of World of Darkness, but don't actually be part of the World of Dark. Like, I don't know, but I know what they were going for, but like still, it just was very in poor taste. And essentially that's what killed Vampire for a lot of us. And like the people who survived, the people who thrive was like this guy. And then he was essentially the gatekeeper, and he chose, it kind of felt like he chose who was cool and who was part of the gang and who was not part of the gang. Because I remember like before they started doing this by night stuff, there was a really cool guy hosting. It was like Jackalope Studios. They did like the live LARP events, and now there's like multiple live LARP events that they're doing with the by night studios. But like as soon as like the whole Geek and Sundry and like trying to create content and finding these professional actors, and they saw like the how the wheels were spinning for Geek and Sundry for Critical Role, and then obviously Critical Role like spun out of Geek and Sundry and started their own thing, and like you saw the popularity, and they decided to copy that formula with LA by Night, and like it was successful, but I don't think it was like as popular because the amount of like time and effort that it took, and then like I said, the way the system was like handling certain things. Not many things were like being published, so you basically had like 3 books, and there was like still a bunch of unanswered things to kind of fill in like the last, I don't know, like 20, or like 20. Well, I may be old. I think it was like 15 years between the Final Nights and like Day of Judgment and Gehenna. They had to kind of explain like what happened, and they didn't really come out with like any new rules and books until they actually started. Like they did like the London book, and then they did the Chicago by Night book, and that's when they introduced the Sombra. And then it's just like, it was like a very slow rollout. And then people were like, well, where's the Samis? Where's the Salubri? Where's like all our favorite clans? Like, why did we forget all these stuff? And it's like, I feel like I'm just yapping right now, but like, that's how it felt like being a World of Darkness size vampire fan. It was just like, unless you were in the inner circle, like with this dude, you didn't know shit. And like, even when you bought the books, it didn't feel like you were really, like, nobody was telling you anything. It was just like, oh, here's a Sabbat book. Oh, by the way, they tried to frame the Sabbat book in such a way that was like, so they were so embarrassed. They're like so embarrassed of they're so ashamed of their past, right? It's not even a player source book. It's an antagonist source book. But because there's so many of us that are like diehard Sabbat, like nutsos, that they basically give you the rules to play Sabbat, but in the context of the game and the way the game is set up, they're like, don't play Sabbat. If you want spirituality, join the Anarchs. They have spirituality now. The ministry has like, you know, blood worship and like praise Cain and all that. Hell, there's even some of that shit in the Camarilla. Like, but if you want like monomacy and rules and like join the Camarilla, like they tried to be like, don't play Sabbat, play Sabbat light in the Cam or in the Anarchs. And it was like, ugh, like it just, and they like totally dismantled what the Sabbat was in the Sabbat book. That it was like, yeah, you could ignore that and you just, you know, you can just world craft your own self and like just create your own universe. But it just kind of is like a bad front to be like, this is like what I loved growing up. And then you just basically dismantled and tore it up right in front of me because you had to make an executive decision about all these horrible themes that the Sabbat explored that in modern day role-playing tabletop culture is not cool. But I get it. I mean, I didn't really get, like, I was so naive when I LARPed. Back when I was like, you know, 16, when I wasn't supposed to be LARPing when I was 16. I was supposed to be 18, but I still did it anyways because I fucking loved it. But like, the thing that kind of stood out that I kind of realized now that was like, it should have been a red flag, was that there was a guy who had a full SS uniform for one of his characters. And I thought that was the fucking coolest thing in the world. Not because I fucking love Nazis or anything like that, but it's just like that shit looks crazy. Like, it's like, oh my God, it's like straight from the history books, right? And like, it didn't really occur to me at that point because like nowadays, like what the sentiment still exists back then, but it wasn't as prevalent as now. Right, about like fascism and like neo-Nazis and all these fuckers who are just assholes. But it's like, do you really think about back then where it's like that was the kind of like the seedlings of like, oh man, this guy has a full-on SS uniform that he just keeps in his closet. Crazy, right? But anyways, I feel like I'm yapping and I'm not really getting to like the point or what I'm like trying to get to. But this guy, Jason Carl, I felt like he was like a gatekeeper for people trying to network, trying to, you know, be seen in the community. And like I said, maybe it was just my entitlement because I had been part of this franchise since I was like fucking 14 years old. And I felt like I had this huge, like just like passion, obsession, that I felt like my obsession, my passion was beyond the scope of mere mortals. And so it was like, I could contribute in some, please let me contribute in some way, please God. And like, you know, it could be annoying. It could be annoying. Some fucking guy just like bugging you on like social media and emails and stuff. I don't think I ever bugged him that bad, but I think I really felt like he could have either been a little bit more forward about like what, like or not forward. He could be honest, be like, hey, look, we don't think you're like, we don't think you're cool enough, or we don't think you're like popular enough. We don't think you're, like, or anything. I felt like I just got a bunch of mixed messages. Like I didn't feel like I felt like I was just like, I would say something to him and then he would just give me just like a thumbs up, but not really like any positive reinforcement or any sort of like criticism or any like initial feedback or anything. I felt like I never got anything. And I think that's what like drove me insane, was like never really getting acknowledgement from this guy who is the, like I said, the guy that is, we're about to watch a video that he's essentially the executive producer of like the World of Darkness and now White Wolf, because White Wolf is back. And so, yeah, we're about to see a video and I may have some like moments where I have to stop and freeze because I'm like criticizing, but like I said, if he watches this later, if someone points it out, then whatever.
Are you a good sport?
No.
Sometimes.
What's a vampire?
It is a horrific creature which leaps out and eats you when you least expect it.
What's your favorite piece of vampire media?
Vampire the Masquerade.
Sinners.
What's your least favorite piece of vampire media?
Mr. Vampire.
What's your mediumest piece of vampire media?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
I can't remember the name of it. No,
the original TV show.
The orgasm glowy eyes. Yeah.
What kind of vampire stuff are you watching?
What do Italian vampires do about the whole garlic thing?
Garlic substitute.
Do digital vampires go to development hell when they die?
No one knows where actual vampires go when they die.
Do vampires
they go to the
the
abyss.
rapture?
You'll have to ask some of the characters in our game about that.
Do vampires wake the deep?
Oh, absolutely, without question.
Do vampires get amnesia?
All the time.
I'm sorry, I can't remember what you asked.
In Bloodlines 2, are we talking sexy Interview with the vampires, or more like scary, angry I Am Legend vampires?
We're definitely not talking about glitter.
There's a season of American Horror Story where if you take these magic pills, you become a really good artist, but also a vampire. Would you take those pills if it meant your game would come out faster?
Sure.
Do vampires age?
Not the way you mean, no.
Do you think Paul Rudd or Keanu Reeves are vampires? Because it doesn't look like they've aged in like 30 years.
I mean, there seems to be some pretty strong circumstantial evidence that the answer is yes for both of these guys.
And in the world of Vampire the Masquerade, you can see vampires on camera, so they get away with it.
Is the main lesson that you learned from the game Redfall to make the game work good when it comes out?
Wow.
Can I use a whip Castlevania style in Bloodlines 2?
Yeah, but you might break the console screen.
This game has been in a state of development forever, but refuses to die and also refuses to come out and be alive. Is this prolonged limbo state between life and death kind of a metaphor for vampirism?
That's the reason for the long development cycle.
You guessed it. Now you've broken the masquerade and you must pay the price.
How many characters does
Okay, that was
Michael B.
actually
Jordan play in
clever.
this game?
I mean, all of them.
Wow. Do vampires do any Irish dancing in this game?
Wait, what did you say?
Prize.
How many characters does Michael B. Jordan play in this game?
I mean, all of them.
Michael B. Jordan? Okay.
Do vampires do any Irish dancing in this game?
There is vampire dancing in this game.
I don't know if it's specifically Irish.
This is really good, huh?
Maybe the best vampire piece of media I have seen in many decades. Yeah. Maybe the best film I've seen in many, many decades.
Sinners?
Do you think Sinners is going to be the best piece of vampire media of 2025?
Until about October, I hope.
This game takes place at Christmas. Would you consider it a feel-good Christmas story or more of a classic family Christmas story?
Well, we're kind of hoping that people will watch it every year, like Die Hard.
What's your favorite Christmas song that's also about vampires? Mine is Baby It's Cold Outside.
I think Jingle Bell Rock.
At Christmas time, many people around the world worship another famously immortal figure with supernatural powers, Santa Claus.
Not a vampire. He's a mage.
Does Jesus
He's a mage. He acknowledges
Some
mage.
kindred really believe so.
And he is good at turning, things from blood into other substances. So.
Let's have a question, more of a factual statement. In Hotel Transylvania, someone asks Dracula if driving a stake through his heart would kill him, and he says, yeah, that would kill anyone. That's a great point, right? Anyway, Hotel Transylvania.
Underrated. And yes, a stake through the heart
will kill
really
it.
Ruins your day, whoever you are. I think.
Yeah.
Quick, I need someone to roll a perception check for me.
That's
Perception. Am I rolling with advantage?
No.
8.
Okay, never mind. You don't see anything.
Fine.
Do I need a
D&D
pen
roll.
and paper and dice to play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2?
I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't think you need one.
Who's the best vampire hunter in gaming history?
Geralt's pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's true.
Does Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 feature a Seattle-style hot dog with grilled onions and cream cheese?
They do come up, actually, funnily enough.
Nice.
In Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, can I magically use my blood to fight other people?
Of course.
Can I magically use other people's blood and puppet them around like Avatar The Last Airbender?
Not the way you mean, but you can use other people's blood against them.
Your game's title has a colon and a hyphen. Don't you think that's a little excessive?
Listen, if we could have put in an Oxford comma and an umlaut in there, I think we'd be even happier.
And you've got to understand it's a visceral game, which is why the colon has to be there.
All right, can I pitch some alternate titles for the game?
Do you have a choice?
Vampire the Masquerade, Sleepless in Seattle.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so your haven is a houseboat, and yeah, I can see it.
And there's so much coffee there, you are just constantly sleepless in Seattle.
Approved.
Vampire the Masquerade, I'm Dreaming of a Bite Christmas. Immediate disapproval.
No.
Denied.
Santa Claus is hunting you down.
No.
I think David Harbour made a film about that recently.
Yeah, it was well received too. So unfortunately, I think your idea has been stolen.
Vampire the Masquerade, Clash of Clans.
I mean, isn't that every night for the Kindred?
2 Vampire the Masquerade, 2 Bloodlines.
We got a colon and an Oxford comma.
Yeah, you can add a comma to this one.
All right.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah,
sure.
that works.
And then this last
Too
one
Fast,
is
Too
just
Furious.
Jaws.
Yes.
I think, has somebody used that before?
A vampire in this world is called Kindred. Would a group of players trying to learn the game for the first time be considered a Kindred garden?
Sorry, I've just thought you're going to need a bigger bite. I'm going back one answer. Sorry, repeat the question.
No, there's really no need to repeat that question.
There's really
Is this
no
a single
need.
player game?
Personally, I have a partner.
Which clan would Morbius from the hit 2022 film Morbius be associated with?
Caitiff.
I assume you've answered that question before.
More than once.
More than one.
Is there a point in the game where the
Really,
main character
Caitiff?
says it's morbid time?
No, sadly not.
You had to actually think about it.
Yeah, I did have to think. I was just trying to remember all of the dialogue.
There's been a lot of
Went through-
dialogue, and not everything made it into the final.
Yeah,
So
some things had to be cut.
Jason, which clan do you think Ian most fits in?
Venture.
Toreador.
Yeah,
Really?
for Jason.
Ventru.
Is Asterion in this game?
There are a number of venues where I think he'd like to hang out.
Is Alucard in this game?
Funnily enough, there are at least 2 references I can think of, yeah.
Is Lestat de Lioncourt in this game?
Funnily enough, there are some references which I cannot confirm or deny, but possibly.
Lestat,
Just to
really?
be clear, do we have hot blonde vampire boys represented in this game?
you won't
No.
be disappointed.
The original Bloodlines game had a vibrant modding scene. How many days do you think it'll be until someone mods Shrek into your game?
Probably a couple of weeks, you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Which character do you think would most seamlessly be modded into Shrek?
Okay, well, I think Lou would make an amazing evil queen, because that's what she is.
Yeah, I think I want to see Tully reprise the role of the donkey. Maybe. Okay. Yeah.
You've done LA by night, New York by night, Seattle by night. How many seasons until we get to my hometown and you do Cincinnati by night?
You're not
Cincinnati.
gonna live that long. Hello again, Ox. How you feeling?
Creative director.
Yeah, we'll see how I do.
In one of the trailers, Lou Graham says, "My blood is singing." What the heck?
Doesn't your blood sing? And if not, what the hell is wrong with you?
Why are the double O's in the title an infinity symbol?
I think because vampires live a while.
What do you call a vampire that works in a Seattle-based Starbucks?
I don't know, what do you call a vampire that works in a Seattle
Oh, God.
Starbucks?
A brew job.
Well done.
A brew job. Oh my
I knew
god.
that was coming.
Can you customize your character in this game?
Yes?
Yeah.
Why is her name spelled like that?
Did you miss it? You played it.
Each vampire clan has a unique curse. What's yours?
This game?
Is this a horror game?
Wow.
Bits of it.
That was
What's yours?
This game?
dang, that's kind of dark. Not gonna lie. That's damn, the way you said it too was like, what is your curse? This game. Ooh, that okay.
Is this a horror game?
Bits of it.
Is this an action game?
Bits of
Bits
it.
of it.
Is this an adventure game?
Bits of
Bits
it.
of it.
Is this an RPG?
Very
Bits
bit.
of it.
Absolutely bits of it.
Why can't you just pick one?
If the vampires don't have to. The Kindred don't feel the need to pick. Why should they? Why should you?
Do choices matter in this game?
Of course.
Oh, yes.
Do choices matter in real life?
Yes, that's how I ended up here.
Can I date vampires in this game?
You
No.
can have romance, but you're not gonna go out to the cinema or anything with them.
Can I date vampires in real life?
There's a website I'll send it to you.
2024's Nosferatu featured Willem Dafoe. Your game has a Nosferatu character named Willem. Coincidence?
Coincidence?
He's Willem the friend.
The only other thing I know about the movie Nosferatu is that Count Orlok is hung as hell. Is that a vampire ability too, or is he just built like that?
That's a thin blood alchemy.
Yeah, you can definitely get an elixir for that.
Are any of you vampires?
Rule number 1 is you don't tell people if you're a vampire.
My next question is, would you tell me if you were?
First tradition, the Masquerade.
Refer you to rule number 1.
When is Vampire the Masquerade coming to Fortnite?
Good question. We'll have to ask Fortnite.
Jesus
One time
fucking
I saw
Christ.
The kid was chasing me around at recess, and the kid I barely knew said, "Charles, I'll save you." He jumped on that kid's back and bit him on the shoulder really hard. Was that kid a vampire?
I don't think you should be sharing this stuff.
For fighting, can fireballs?
No, she can fire her own blood.
Do the vampires in this game swallow blood or suck it through their teeth like little Capri Sun straws?
No, they swallow it.
Do any vampires use straws?
I think some very stylish Hollywood vampires probably use those cool metal reusable straws with the sharp in it, you know?
It's frowned upon to take it from any vessel other than the body.
What is the best city to wake up in after being in a coma for 100 years?
Vegas.
I would have thought.
When is Bloodlines 3 coming out?
Let me finish Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, when is this game coming out?
October.
Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Edward, obviously.
Jacob.
Why are there so many vampires in the northwestern U.S.?
Longer nights.
Yeah, very long.
Bella, where the hell have you been, Loca?
Fine.
Is Batman a vampire?
Rule number 1 again.
So I guess you can't tell me if Robert Pattinson's a vampire.
Rule number 1.
Can you turn into a bat in this game?
No, but you can glide around like one.
If the Scooby Gang finds Fire, are they going to pull off her mask to reveal she was Old Man Jenkins the entire time?
I think if the Scooby Gang found Fire, they'd all be mullered and dead.
Yeah.
It would be really sad.
Yeah, the mystery machine would no longer be a mystery.
And there'd be a dead dog.
Does blood taste different when you're a vampire?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
what does
residents.
blood have to taste like for you to want to be a vampire?
Chocolate.
Wine.
Wine.
Is Count Chocula a vampire? He has all the aesthetics, but I feel like he cares a lot more about chocolate than he cares about blood.
I mean, you know, in Hollywood, all things are possible.
Do you know who Count Chocula is also? Is that an American thing?
It is an American thing, but I'm aware of that, and I'm aware of the leprechaun with the marshmallows as well.
Is the Count from Sesame Street a vampire?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
canon.
Why do so many vampires have Eastern European accents?
Prejudice.
Prejudice?
I have a voice in my head who tells me to be nice to people and not to do violence and stuff. Is that Fabian?
Or is this to do with that child that bit you?
Going back to the playground here, the werewolf.
Well, he bit my friend. He was defending me.
Oh,
that was a friend.
So this is unresolved trauma, basically,
was
is the
you.
problem here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say bloody hell. Would vampires say bloody heaven because they like blood so much?
I think vampires are into bloody whatever.
Will we ever see Fabian's face?
You'll have to see.
Finally, is fire short for vampire?
No. The actual reason of fire and fire is a nod.
You played the game, didn't you notice?
I should go back. I should study up and rewrite all my questions so they're actually reasonable.
Probably for the best, actually.
Cool. Well, thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Okay. So let's see what other. So tomorrow, and this is kind of like the big thing, is that there's going to be a live stream of the gameplay by Outstar and Debbie, who are the social leads of the game, or of World or White Wolf now. Proper. September 3rd is Clan Ventru. September 10th is Tremere, Bruja, Banu Hakim, voice acting cast, La Sombra, and Toreador. Now, this has been the biggest controversy, and that's what I wanted to go over because there's been some news regarding the. Oh, this is what's next. So if you take a look here at the pre-orders, right, the full experience, the base game standard edition does not come with any of what's called the Santa Monica Memories, which is the Arcarin sarcophagus, the Clan Neon collection, stop sign, and the Vorman sisters' portrait, which is like, that was interesting. Available in Haven upon completing playthrough as a clan. Okay. So that's for the deluxe edition. Now, the thing that's been pissing people off as of late is this edition, that there are 2 clans that are pre-order only, or not pre-order, but the premium edition. And so there's been a lot of hullabub about it. A lot of people saying that's like, okay, why are they, especially right here where it's like Toreador is a basic clan. It's not a, it's not like a major clan like that has like crazy powers. It's a basic 8. It's one of the basic clans of the Camarilla. So for it to have that's like basically pay blocked, and it's like playable clan, discipline, Toreador discipline training, and then 4 Toreador outfits. Same thing with La Sombra. Now I could totally see La Sombra being that, because La Sombra is a little bit more specialized. They're ex-Sabbat. They're not necessarily part of the Camarilla, and like what makes the Camarilla, you know, like, or Anarch. They could be part of Anarchs, but like they recently like were given like the green light to basically be like, you guys can exist on our side. You're no longer this stuck in limbo like traitors to the Cam and the Anarchs essentially, and like stuck in the Sabbat forever. They definitely have like a lot of like limitations. Like they can't, according to the last rules I read, they can't become princes of a city yet. But I've heard that there are already like in, maybe not in canon, but like I heard in like certain rule sets that there are already like La Sombra princes of the Cam. And I forget what it's the constable. I forget who's in charge, or the Baron. I know there's already Baron La Sombras of the Anarchs. So, yeah, they're a little bit more like specialized. And then like, and one thing I was like telling or talking about one of my friends about this is that they should have put the Toreador as a base clan and then add the La Sombra and the Hakata, which is basically the undead clan, because they both use, in the tabletop, they both use the same power, the La Sombra and the Hakata. They both use Oblivion. So they already have the set, the power set for La Sombra. They should have just add the undead clan as a replacement for a Toreadors, because it just basically is, I wouldn't say like a palette swap, but just basically they have like the core power. And that would have been kind of like 2 unique clans to the setting. Behind pre-order. Yeah, it still sucks because it's still, or not, behind a premium edition. But at least you get the basic 8. I mean, the added bonuses they gave Banu Hakim and Tremere. So you feel like you got like a cool special clan. But like no Nosferatu, no Gangrel, no Ministry. There's definitely no, and like actually we should go to that real quick. The clans, yeah. So all you get is you get Bruja, Banu Hakim, Tremere, Ventru, and then like I said, Toreador and La Sombra are DLC. So it's like they should have made Heket or Hekate. Am I pronouncing that correct? Let me see. Vampire clans. Let's see. Continue with the site. Ministry, Malkavian, Hekata. Am I pronouncing that correctly? The Hekata. Yeah, Hekata. And like I said, they use in the tabletop, they use Oblivion, and Oblivion is used by both La Sombra and La Sombra and the Hakata. So why complicate it? Why complicate it? Yeah, it is used by the La Sombra and Hakata clans associated with bloodlines. It combines obtenebration and necromancy. So like, just add the Toreador back into the main game, and then just make the La Sombra and Hakata. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the person that they, obviously they've been working on this game for a very long time, but still, like, I just think it's a no-brainer. But anyways, with all that being said, they had a response. So, hi, we are listening to you about the La Sombra and Toreador access. We are making adjustments to reflect this. We will share more information about this as soon as possible. Until then, join us tomorrow on Twitch at 5 p.m. We'll be showing up more of the game. So, yeah, there's like people saying like, I hope adjustments means you're no longer paywalling already created content, which is a terrible move. And then Co Carnage, he had something pretty interesting to say, which I don't understand how he has this power. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Just got out of a meeting with Paradox Interactive about the direction of Bloodlines 2. I'm cautiously optimistic. Thanks for listening. You advise them on development for them? Nope, not at all. This was just purely focused on the Vampire Master 2 current public situation and my suggestions on how to remedy it. So my first thoughts about how they can remedy this and like still make money at the end of the day is either turn the two clans that are available as DLC, like free for a limited time, like the first, I don't know, like first 30 days that people buy this game, they get access to the DLC, which I probably should go to, like, so you just basically Silk and Shadows, you basically get this. So you just get the two clans. But then the Santa Monica Memories, you get these items. But anyways, so what are people supposed to do then? Are they supposed to, like, maybe people who maybe already pre-ordered the premium edition, are they going to get their money back? Is there going to be some sort of incentive in order to win back people who were hoping to get this? And then also another thing I should probably add. Actually, let me just open it in the side window here. This is very important because for like the old heads that were very contributing to the early game. So this is the email that we got. So back in the day, there was this ARG that a lot of people were exploring when they first announced Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And it was crazy. Like, there was a lot of like introspection and like digging up like old media files and like following the clues. And it was like a big deal for a lot of us. Like, the subreddit was like in disarray about it. And so, a lot of those people, we came together as a community to like uncover the mystery of this ARG, and it was like phenomenal. But which really, like, the only thing that pissed me off is that it says right here, thanks for your blood points. So you had to earn blood points in order to be part of this ARG. And for some reason, I got stuck. Like, I guess my account either stopped working or I don't know what happened. But essentially, I could no longer get any more blood points. And I just kind of was like, whatever, I'm going to leave it at that. But apparently now, if you contribute a certain amount of blood points, and I guess they still had this in all of like the back data, it says, congratulations, thanks for your blood points. You've earned an upgrade to the deluxe edition. The Bloodlines 2 base game must be purchased separate to unlock this content. In order to claim, you have to click on this link. Obviously, it says, please note, the link to the form is unique for you, so do not share the link. Your answer cannot be changed after you make a choice. After making sure, you have to do it before September 1st. And you will not be able to claim your blood points after this date. So, but there were also some people, like friend of the show, Skelepope, aka Dan the Man. I guess he got more blood points later on, and let's see, copy link. And he got, this is what he got. And I was just like, bro, I think I contributed more than you. And somehow he's like, we are thrilled to let you know, releasing on October 21st. Thanks for your blood points. He earned enough for the premium edition. So he got both the Shadow and Silk pack and the Santa Monica Memories for free. And I'm sitting here just like, I think I was contributing way more to the ARG than you did. And now, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck did you end up with like the better version than I did? But then again, like I said, I think I got hosed with the blood points because my shit was like, I guess, broken or something. But anyways, with all that being said, that's just kind of how it happened. And so I think either there's going to be this pre-order bonus either unlocks the 2 clans. I don't know. I wish Ko would be a little bit more transparent rather than just being vague about it. But that's just, the power of like you said, it's like, oh, look at me, I'm an entitled streamer. But, like I said, we're talking about entitlement and trauma right now. So, yeah, whatever. You are the monster. Visceral, immersive combat. A world of darkness. So that's where we're at currently. Obviously, they have way more stuff to show in the coming days. Where is it? They have the schedule tomorrow, or they've already done the Fabian, which is like you're playing a Malkavian, which is, you see that in the background, like the detective. So it's like, why the fuck is a Malkavian haunting you? It's probably a ghost, to be honest. Let's be real. And then tomorrow is the live stream, gameplay, and then September 3rd is Clan Ventru, Tremere, Bruja. We know through all that. But like the Toreador and the La Sombra, as like dates and video topics may be subject to change. Refer to the latest roadmap on Bloodlines 2 Discord, which I'm a part of their Discord. So let's go and look at a bunch of the Dev Diary stuff just because I wanted to take a look at it one by one. Oh, okay. So this is is there like a video? Oh yeah. So this is the video. Actually, let's go. It's not the Chinese room video that we need to go to. We need to go to because I think they already have. Go here. Let's go to playlists. They have right here. So this is the title screen for Bloodlines 2. When was this? 9 months ago. And they said this was a Christmas. The Glacier. Is that a real spot in Seattle? I wonder if it is. Let's take a look. Glacier, Seattle. Glacier Peaks. Is it a hotel? Hotels. Nope. So it is not a real hotel. The Glacier. So that is a made up. That is a fake as fuck room. All right, let's go to. Okay, this is the snip of the his song. A snippet. Let's see. What's this? Beating Man trailer.
Blue bloods and castles, peasants in the gutter. Same old story with a pretty flag on top.
You have one night.
Benny?
One night to sort your business and get the fuck out of Seattle.
Benny, Benny, Benny. Such a way with words.
Okay.
Tally's an acquired taste.
I'm your go-to gal for fun times at the OK Camarilla.
OK Camarilla.
Scatterbrained.
You're the nomad.
The nomad. Lou.
This town's had a queen for a long, long time.
How uninvited. There had better be a reason.
If I were a betting man, I'd say the heads are just starting to roll. And I am a betting man.
Okay, I don't think that's like a good video. Okay, Dev Diaries. Blood on the Wind. Vampire Chapters. Digital Companion. Where is Las Vegas? Dev Diary update development. This is like the last video I saw.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Skidmore, creative director of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 at the Chinese Room. Today we would like to update you on the progress of making Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 and give you some insights into the process of making the game. As you can see from our dev diaries in spring, we've been focusing on the gameplay of the clans, making sure each feels unique. We've also been iterating on the narrative so that you feel like the star of the story and can really enjoy the politics of being a member of part of Seattle's court.
Okay.
In our June dev diaries, the team showed some of the things they've been working on, showcasing some of the creepier environments and also a sneak peek of Seattle.
Oh, there's
right
what's her
now,
face.
I'm focusing on reviewing the quests as we get into Seattle.
Where is it? That is oh god, what's her name? Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 NPCs. That is god, what is her name? Knives Rodriguez kid. Damsel. That is straight up Damsel. And Damsel, they had a there was a scene, one of the books, I think it was in the play, I forget which book. They actually have Damsel, like she's like, I'm up in Seattle. Yeah, Events in Bloodlines 2. Damsel spends the last decade establishing the Anarch Free State in California before moving to Seattle to increase the Anarch influence of the Pacific Northwest. So she is in Seattle, and that is definitely a picture of her.
Right now, I'm focusing on reviewing the quests as we get them to final, as well as the gameplay between the quests when you're exploring Seattle.
Of course.
The game overall is in a late production phase where we're mainly focused on iterating and polishing, making sure everything looks good and plays as we intend throughout the game.
Good evening, I'm Matthias Lilja, Deputy CEO of Paradox Interactive. Earlier this year, Paradox reaffirmed its commitments to delivering quality games. That's especially true for Bloodlines 2. It's an important game to Paradox Interactive and to World of Darkness.
Okay.
This means we have to deliver a high-quality product. We have learned a lot during the past year, and that is why we're putting our words into action. Jointly with Chinese Room, we have decided to extend development. This decision gives Chinese Room extra time to spend on the game to deliver the best Bloodlines 2 they can. The game is in a good place right now, and Paradox and Chinese Room have decided to prioritize polish over release date.
Okay.
Our team at the Chinese Room will make the most of the time to polish and ensure quality, while several of the team members will be ready earlier, allowing them to work on things we might not have had time for, but are really passionate about. For example, we can now add more endings to the game, allowing it to be a more personal story. The additional time also allows us to address feedback from our playtests in our user research lab, and also to address the feedback we've been getting from all of you in response to our dev diaries and videos.
We remain committed to delivering an exciting game to vampire fans old and new. This commitment is reflected in the history of this development. The game is scheduled for release the first half of 2025. World of Darkness and Chinese Room will continue to engage with
pushed back
fans
to
of
late
Bloodlines
2025.
2, listening to feedback, sharing updates, and showcasing the games in various forms.
To October.
We'll go into everything from our vampire take on Seattle, social feeding, the different factions in the city, and the different characters you will meet on your journey through the game. Until then, thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night. All right. Actually, I guess we can go back to that playlist and just maybe just curate a little bit better. Let me see. Music implementation, creating music, behind the scenes. What? See, I don't think this is like a good dev diary. So let's go back to, no, let's close this out. Dev diary. Welcome to the Chinese Room. So this is when they announce, this is studio designer Alex Sigmore from the Chinese Room. Excited to finally be able to say that this is our, say this out loud. And this was back in 2023. I'm writing today to introduce you to our studio, its history and the future, the people behind making Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Play some music. The Chinese Room is an award-winning studio focused on telling grounded, believable, rich stories. These are the traditions behind our groundbreaking games in our platform, like Dear Esther, which I have played. It's a pretty solid game. And internationally acclaimed Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which I have not played, but I do have access to on my PlayStation. So I might want to give that a go. Over 100 talented game developers. We're all drawn here by a passion of the kind of storytelling we do. We also have a strong history in supporting diversity in our development team in our games. In early 2020, we moved to our studio in sunny Brighton to build an award-winning mobile game, The Little Orpheus, a warm-up for our ambitious titles ahead. Later, they're in Brighton. Later the same year, the company moved to two narrative-focused projects, Still Wake the Deep and Vampire Masquerade 2, which I saw the speedrun of Still Wake in the Deep. It looks pretty cool. Still Wakes the Deep builds on the Chinese Room's heritage, and Bloodlines 2 is about looking to the future for our games, taking a big leap forward into the action role-playing game genre while bringing our narrative experience to bear, making Bloodlines 2. A look at the TCR profile, the Chinese Room profile shows believability is the base for any of our game world, allowing greater immersion. Vampire the Masquerade Origins as a tabletop role-playing game and broad transmedia profile gave us the foundation of believability from the get-go. We love how it lets you express your monster in a world full of supernatural secrets. That just fits our style of storytelling. Bloodlines 2 asks us to believe that blood-sucking monsters could inhabit our world, that you are one of them, and how you would deal with the world while navigating the darkness within. Bloodlines 2 is designed with a balance in roleplay game and adventure story, a compelling and rich plot you've expected from an adventure game, but with an RPG agent allowing you to act out your vampire fantasy. The city of Seattle will open up lots of opportunities. Through the development, Throughout development, we've been regulars in Stockholm at the World of Darkness HQ to discuss aligning the opportunities of story, character, gameplay, and crossovers that this IP gives us as creators and fans. We're thrilled to bring World of Darkness off the page and the character sheets onto an action RPG video game. And this is the announcement trailer.
In the sound of the siren,
1 year ago. So this is like
I can move like the wind.
pre-alpha, Sumo Digital. They're no longer with Sumo Digital.
I will bloom in my sin. Wide awake like I'm dreaming. Getting close.
Am I getting copyright striked? 3-point siege on Seattle. An elder awoken. Which is you are nomad. Or fire? The city will bleed you dry. Glide. Dang, just smash his head open. Jesus.
Can you hear it? My blood is singing. I will wait for you.
And then it got delayed. Wish list now. So. Feel like a vampire. While making decisions about Bloodlines 2, one consistent reference is our first game pillar. Feel like a vampire. Everything you do in this game should make you feel like a predator of the night. In video games, we often get to be the mighty hero fighting against the darkness. Vampires, especially as playable characters, are underrepresented. Except if you play Legacy of Kain, motherfuckers. We're building the game around the experience of doing things only a kindred can. With non-combat gameplay we follow early on, we are doing the RPG tropes. Find a key card to open the door, turn on the generator to restore power to a lift. We put a rule that a non-combat game should be about something only a vampire could do. Keep it aspirational. When we are exploring combat, it started off playing like Dishonored, which we love. But that did not feel right for the vampire players were very cautious and afraid of the enemies they encountered. To us, kindred should stalk their prey and strike fearless like a predator. We wanted to build an action experience that players feel confident, almost trolling the enemy with their disciplines. Testers use the phrase "playing with your food," which we love, and illustrated how we think a Vampire the Masquerade ARPG should feel has come up in the playthroughs. The look of a powerful vampire. I'm assuming that's the current prince. Most action games offer a power fantasy. I like to call ours a confidence fantasy. Oh, I guess you should probably turn this down. Oh, wrong. Oh wait. Oh, dang it. Wrong. I was like, what? Wrong source to play. I'm still getting used to my new mixer. Let's see. Oh, confidence fantasy. When you have a supernatural edge and immortality to back you up, there should be a sense of, I know what is going on and I can control this situation. We want to give you the tools to do that in combat, conversations, and travel across the city. When they come together, you should be immersed in the feeling of being a vampire. We have 2 more game pillars: visceral, immersed combat, and exploring the world of darkness. We'll explore these in depth later down the line. We look forward to telling you more. Until then, good night. Alex Sycamore. What next? Okay, so this is the announcement that they took over. So we'll take a look at that. Brighton, UK. I heard that place has really turned around.
Camera's rolling.
Because of the YouTube.
All the stories we've told, and I think will tell, we leave mysteries and things for people to solve. There's a maturity in our storytelling. for this project, we want to take that forward. Vampire the Masquerade is a great story IP, and we're great storytellers. They're going to get the immersive, wonderful worlds they can lose themselves in, but they're going to find a lot more that we haven't done before, that is still true to us and true to our DNA, and hopefully it exceeds their expectations.
The first thing I thought was, wow, that's a pretty big project to get right. Now we've got to get it right. That was the second.
Our game is powerful,
dark,
violent, thrilling,
twisty,
visceral.
Visceral is a word we use a lot in the studio.
challenging,
Rebellion.
kind of heartfelt.
Just, well, it's World of Darkness.
I love Vampire the Masquerade because it is a dark world mirroring our own in the modern day.
The atmosphere of our game is very much set in the neo-noir realm. Life, which is where the living world is not our friend, so it should feel dangerous.
I think we tread the line between the grittiness of our world and the romanticism of vampires in a really nice way.
That's where I think a lot of the interesting story, or interesting of this IP is, these people who are all immortal and can kind of do whatever they like, they're all above the law, but they also want to get their own way.
The thing that I like about VTM is that it's been around for so long, so many people already have attachments to a lot of the events and a lot of the characters who exist, and this is our chance to really get in there and help make more of those memories.
TCR is very well known for crafting amazing stories.
With our impressive horror catalog, I truly believe that TCR is one of the best in the industry when it comes to delivering and developing compelling narratives.
But as well as the story stuff, I think TCR is really good at working with narrative complementary to include atmosphere, and how the narrative and the atmosphere and the art really work together.
You know, that sense of atmosphere, that storytelling, that TCR twist.
As my role as community manager, I have to make sure that people who love TCR's games understand that there is plenty of space for them to explore the characters and the stories that they've come to expect from us.
In our game as well, the player is entering a world that is in a large tectonic shift and turmoil, so nothing is going to be as it was when the player arrived there.
Obviously, we started out making really atmospheric walking simulators, but that was our roots, and as TCR has grown, we've added in people with more experience in AAA, but then still keeping the spirit of TCR, which is, can I swear? The fucking weird.
Okay.
Being a kindred is all about power to influence, there's that physical power.
World of Darkness fans have a huge new playground for the powers, the disciplines, all of the things that they expect from a vampire game.
TCR challenges players to explore the darker aspects of vampire existence and the consequences of one's actions.
Are you the kind of predator that does run in, or do you crawl through the grass?
That is a lot of what we're asking the players with this game. What kind of vampire are you?
What makes the game special is the team making it.
It's incredible to get to play around in somebody else's sandbox.
Nerve-wracking too. Yes. I mean, it's such a passionate fan base, and we really want to do it well.
Oh, I'm really hoping that they are as excited as we are, because we are super excited to share the game with everybody.
When you have an opportunity to work on something that you never expected to work on, you grab it with both hands. And it's been a fantastic experience with a team who are passionate in delivering something that we feel we're really proud of. And we are.
Yeah, but they're no longer part of Sumo Digital. I think they've bought themselves out, but that was a long time ago. So yeah. Okay. So where are we at now? So that was the first dev diary. So let's take a look now at the second, which is the narrative, atmosphere, and themes. Hello, Sarah Longthorn, senior narrative. I think that's the lady who says fucking weird. Today we discuss the narratives in Bloodlines 2 from a sky-high perspective. What are the conflicts and challenges in Seattle's court, and how will they affect you? Samson in Chains. The story of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is, at its cold, unbeating heart, about control. The amount of kind of control you have over others, the control they exert over you in turn, and the control you lose and slowly regain over yourself and your fate. You wake trapped in Seattle, a full extension of your power artificially suppressed, diminished to a mere pawn to be used and exploited. After all, what are others if not the most disposable assets? And what makes a better asset than a lashing and muzzled elder? Our main NPC character, like Lou, Wrong, and Tully, have their own agendas that you've involvement could gain advance or greatly advance. It might not be your best interest to bite every hand that seeks to bring you to heel, but to pick and choose to play along, to bide your time or not, that much, darling, is down to you. Neo-noir. Neo-noir blurs the line between morality and exploits themes like revenge, paranoia, alienation, all of which perfectly encapsulate a kindred's existence, especially when you consider the neo-noir stories that are often driven by nihilism, morality gray antiheroes. Hello, Kindred. We love Tully. There's nothing sinister about this van. Okay. It's Nas fault too. Excuse me. We focus on characters who know what and who has the power in any given situation. This is how players can use their advantage. No one in Bloodlines 2 knows everything about everything as much as they might pretend. So how the player navigates these alliances and go about learning new information makes the player feel like they are interesting a complex web of lies. We try to ensure that the player feels in control of the information that they know, who they share those secrets with, and why. What happened to an elder? One of our early design decisions was to make the player character into an elder kindred, which was totally opposite of what I heard about the first game, which was you were going to play a thin blood that eventually like had like a partner, and then essentially you were going, and in order to choose your clan to play out, you basically diablerize them. You commit this ultimate sin and of diablery, and then one of the factions leaders like catches you diablerizing your maker, but you still are like technically a thin blood, so you still have access to like the thin bloodness of like what the game is trying to like at the Hardsuit Labs version, but you have access to the cool like clan specific power. So that was something that was like they're definitely going kind of the opposite with, like, rather than playing a thin blood and then diablerizing your way into becoming an established kindred, you just start off right off the bat, which is an elder, which I think is probably the good thing because, like I said, it does the power reversal. Like it's like a curve. Like if you played Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen 2, it's kind of like that, where like Kain is the badass vampire in Legacy of Kain, Blood Omens, and then now you're playing him and he's depowered, but he has to slowly gain his like power back. That's kind of, I like that way. This was interesting to us because it means that we could play with how this established vampire knows things about being a kindred already and how he can create gaps to let players learn this type of information firsthand. Balancing the opportunity and the history it entails with the desire to allow players to still roleplay and make characters their own is an extremely challenging but fun. Kindred do not relate to each other Kindred do not relate to each other the way that we do, especially extremely old kindred, like our protagonists. They don't have friends, for instance. Everything is about power and possession, which are the antithesis of any genuine connection. It's a challenge to try and disconnect from how we might view a thing and step into the mindset in order to properly represent it. You have to lean first on the makings that character interesting to learn about and to spend time with. You cannot expect players to initially identify with them or maybe even like them. It takes finesse to balance that, to zoom out and find broader, more universal entry points that might encourage players to feel like they can identify with that character. Humanity is something distant. So does that make you, okay, no, sorry. Humanity is something distant. So what does that make humans to you? Centuries of existence can be tough on a person who can only feed on others. They're just something to consume, or is it just possibly to have trust or kinship? Everything just chess pieces or a trophy? All these questions and more are why is my brain not like all these questions and more are what we're asking about your character and NPCs that star in Bloodlines 2. We'll see you back in 2 weeks for our Dev Diary when we explore the Neo art style. So there's no video to this. So Dev Diary 3 Neo art style. World of Light. Yeah, so this is like, I don't want to read everything because I find that would just be kind of boring. Talking about what is neo-noir. It is a revival movement of film noir from the mid-20th century. Artists focused on the modern day cities, painted them in bright neon lights and deep shadows. It's very moody and invokes places that harbor sinister characters. Think Blade Runner or John Wick. Subverse, dark, the threatening. Subverse, dark, and threatening are all neo-noir conversations we're focusing on in our game. VTM is all about these tones, and so naturally it works hand in hand when it comes to creating a seedy underbelly of our Seattle. From locations to characters, our vision is about showing a side of Seattle at night that goes deeper than what you would see on the surface. Whether it's dark corner alleys to Rome or interiors that host Machiavellian politics behind closed doors, neo-noir puts atmosphere and contrast at the center of its palette. And that's something that works perfectly with our vampire fantasy and ultimately Bloodlines 2. Yeah. So World of Shadow versus World of Light. So essentially they just have like a theme. It's not a one-for-one scale replica of Seattle, obviously, but they did take time to research on Google Earth. Inspirations, we've learned the art of every type, movies, books, fine art, and even dance that has given us inspiration. Neo-noir photography and cinema visuals have been a big influence, whether it's Nicholas Miller's eerie elements, cityscapes, or visions of culture hidden in plain sight in movies like John Wick and the works of Nicholas Winding Refn. Is this what I think he is? The Kojima guy? What? I'm pretty sure that this is the... Yep. Only Gods Forgive, Neon Dynasty, Drive, Pusher. I have not seen Pusher 2. I've never seen Brodson. I've never seen Valhalla Rising 3. What other movies has he done? He's done a lot. Dying of Light? That's a real movie? Oh, man. My Life, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Yeah, this is the... Only God Forgives was okay. Neon Demons was... Guys. Before the big comeback of Keanu Reeves, like a couple years ago, like pre-pandemic, Keanu Reeves does a great cameo in Neon Demons. And I think that was kind of like the starting point. And then like, obviously he did John Wick, and then John Wick kind of like reemerged him as like this big Hollywood celebrity. And now he's doing like cameos. He's going to be like in a movie about an angel here in a bit. But like his appearance in Neon Demon is a fantastic, probably one of the best parts about that movie. and there's like a big surprise in it too. That's like, whoa. We worked hard to paint a picture of a dark, worldly underbelly hidden in the recesses of modern Seattle. Nicholas Miller's work focused a lot on environments and atmosphere and the work effect weather can have on people to make impactful images. We're leveraging Unreal Engine 5 atmospheres at the same way, creating dense scene thick with the warm glow and soft spotlights. Snow and fog play a large part of that in our Seattle, helping create layers of texture and visual storytelling. The Kojima guy. I forget. Oh, man. I'm dying. All right. Concepts in Unreal. What makes concepts in Unreal? Okay, so they're just talking about the Unreal Engine 5, the creative process. Talking about always designing. We start from big shapes. Paint over abandoned building, bathroom. Finally, we use high-res screenshots and tools in Unreal. That's cool. So using Unreal 3, or Unreal 5, I mean. Next generation. Cool. Another 2 weeks. We'll have Dev Diary. Not much on the graphics. All right. Dev 4. Or no, Dev 5. Yep. Dive into next gen game development. This is like everything that was talking about where they're because they're working on Unreal 5. Obviously, it was going to be currently the current gen, so PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, that sort of thing. Goes into more details, CPU, GPU, level design, LOD systems. Okay. Let's see. Missions, sculpting, and ink. Technical director Nick Skaven joins us. We're going to share thoughts on importing tools we developed, building all things of our narrative, like cutscenes, missions, and dialogue. Look for key, open door, battle monster, success, fail. Okay. Bit. Branch narratives are complex from each decision point. The story can go many ways. Rather than writing our own tech for this, we use Design Inc., an open source narrative script language created by Inkly Studios. We use this port from C to C++ and to get it working in Unreal, but this was way quicker than writing our own narrative script system from scratch. Okay. How do we make them into animations and audio? Obviously, of course, took some concepts. We much step using ink. We thought it was right to give some back, so we created Inkplot, which is a lightweight blueprint-friendly wrapper of our C++ port of the Ink runtime. This is now freely available from our GitHub site. You can download this tool and use it in Unreal for yourself. If you do, let us know. We'd love to see what people create. Okay, so this is like... Go back. Has this been updated? December 8th, 2024. Contains ink within the Unreal Engine developed by Chinese Room. All the change logs, requirements. Can't compile plugin. Yeah, this is all nerd shit that I do not... Game development nerd shit I don't know. So I'm not even going to bother. Okay. Let's play some music while we're waiting. While we're looking at more stuff. All right. So... Visceral immersive combat. In Dev Diary 1, Alex Sigmore, project creative director at the Chinese Room, wrote about the first game pillar, feeling like a vampire, which is sets the player fantasy as a guiding light for creative decisions. We also show lots of combat so far to give you a taste of the power and flow. What you've seen is influenced by the second pillar, visceral immersive combat, which directs the game's action. Today, Alex is back to share his thoughts on the important parts of Vampire Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. So, talked about the concepts, strategic stalker. Fans are more strategic combat experience while staying hidden and use the elements of surprise key. Okay, action brawler. Second play style is action brawler for players who prefer to jump straight into the action. They rely on fast reflexes and combat skills. Any clan can brawl, but that's where the Bruja shines. Okay. Their power is aimed at dominating close combat. References for the style of action brawl games like God of War series, Shadow Mordor, and Elden Ring. Wow, when was this? 2024, I guess last year. It's about the center of the brawl and using your ability to control crowds so you can deliver as much damage as possible. The narrative adventure. Third policy is called the narrative adventure. For players who are less interested in combat and action gameplay and want to focus more on the fantasy narrative and exploring elements of the game, we envision that as a core of the Bloodlines 1 fan's identity with the playstyle, and also fans of TCR styles to date. A lot of development working on this game. A lot titles to date, and a lot of the developers working on the game. So make sure the gameplay pillar does not add action at the detrimental of these important players, so you can still enjoy exciting battles without having to delve too deeply into combat mechanics if things like characters and stories are more important to you. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so the final game pillar is exploring the world of darkness. Look forward to talk to you next. Kai. So, exploring the world of darkness. Is there a video? I really like a video. No video. Wow. In my third dev dive, I said the last two things talked about the first and second pillar of the game. Feeling like a vampire, which covers the player's fantasy. Versus immersive combat, which covers the action play. Today, I want to tell you about the third and final game pillar. Exploring the world of darkness, which covers the setting, society, and character story and RPG elements of the game. Okay. Yeah, we all know, based on the premise that vampires, werewolves, and ghosts are actually real, but hidden from our contemporary human society. Yeah. Anything, for example, Pioneer Square is a key location to speak of us. Is to speak to us of an old city and its founders, some of which were vampires that you will meet, but also have volunteer part, which is in reality is on the outskirts of the city. But we love the idea of doing a creepy mission that there reveals something sinister beneath the iconic conservatory. Okay. In Bloodlines 1, you were a new vampire in the city of a large anarch presence, and where the Camarilla didn't have a complete dominance. For Bloodlines 2, we have flipped this on its head. You play Fire, an elder vampire 400 years old, in a city where the Camarilla has been dominant for decades, and any hint of anarch sympathy is squashed. Fire's number one loyalty is to herself, but she is wise enough to respect the power of the Camarilla, and more importantly, the Masquerade. So she's an Artarch. An elder that is neither Cam or Anarch. Within the story, Fire earns a seat at the top table of the Camarilla as the court sheriff. So she's the sheriff? She's the sheriff, giving her the court's protection, but also powerful authority within Seattle's vampire society. This is an RPG, of course, so you could roleplay sheriffs in multiple ways. Maybe you are loyal to the sheriff of the Camarilla, or an anarch sympathizer working from within to undermine the court. Or maybe you're just self-centered elder a vampire playing the different factions off each other for your advantage. Cool. Fire's motivations in the story are driven, at least initially, by regaining her power. She is awoken after 100 years in torpor, vampire hibernation, 6,000 miles from home, with markings all over her body which are limiting her powers. This sets up the narrative context of the ability tree, which was shown in due course, which insists of being about adding new powers to Fire, like leveling up in the pen and paper RPG, you are unlocking her existing powers. Over the 300 years roaming the old world, Pyre has gained many powers, not only those from the discipline of her clan. The important part about Masquerade is vampires are hidden in plain sight in our society. There are several vampire hangouts in the city, which to passersby would appear innocent, but to those who are in the know, are important places in vampire society. The key locations off of Weaver Tower, Seattle Corporate HQ is actually a front for the Camarilla. Free range. Most cities with civilians are aware that you are a vampire walking among them. I know that. All right, so you are the sheriff. Cool. What is a bruja? No video? No video. Okay. Damn. For those who are new to Vampire the Masquerade, bruja are a vampire. They are descendants of the same bloodline that gives them similar strength and weaknesses. They have access to supernatural strength, speed, and charisma. Their curse is that they are easily riled to anger and often use this reputation to their advantage when intimidation and threats. All these traits make them deadly opponents on and off the battlefield. We look at the when we looked at the adaptation or adept. When we look to adapt these rebels and philosophers into the video game, we were inspired by the real-life culture and vampiric fantasies to help you get immersed in their playstyle. Here are some perspectives on building different bruja from the cross of the studio, and an introduction from Karen from the World of Darkness on how bruja were developed, designing the bruja from tabletop. Silky won't be the only bruja in town if you pick the clan. You butt heads with several other characters that share this clan. Silky is one of that we'll likely share today and learn more about him in the next post too. He may look like he thinks with his fist, but assumptions make fools of us all. Eloquent, persuasive, man to the letter, quoting Milton, Shakespeare, and the Sex Pistols with equal reverence. Okay. Riding the bruja. What does a bruja look like? Okay. So, Memento Mori. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that was the bruja clan symbol right there. The three nails in the circle. Okay. Developing Tremere! Best clan in A. We have no weaknesses, bitches. Tremere whole deal is deep connection with blood magic and arcane knowledge. They pursue mystical powers, and the secrets of veiling Tremere are discipline, manipulation, ambition, knowledge-seeking, academics, advisors, detectives. They are loyal and guarded, so definitely different from bruja. We hope to enjoy the collection of testimonies from a few of our developments and how they approach crafting the formidable, legendary Tremere. Tremere. Designed and modern Tremere for tabletop. I do not care because I know how to play Tremere. Miss Amelia Thorne. Amelia Thorne does not suffer fools gladly or otherwise. You'll find her at the Wake the Dead all night coffee bar, where she serves up bitter grounds and bit criticisms in equal measure. Miss Thorne serves as the Tremere Magister of the Seattle Court. She's credited her longevity both as a mortal and as a kindred to loyalty and knowing one's place. Work your way in her good books, and you'll find powerful ally who can provide insight into everything a Camarilla's secrets to arcane thaumaturgical rituals. Spill coffee on her books, and she's perfectly capable of turning your innards into outwards. Okay. Writing the Tremere, combat discipline design. What does a Tremere sound like? What do you mean? Haunted sounds, blood and gore, players manipulating enemy vitae, boiling an enemy's blood from inside. Okay, we got that. What does Tremere look like? Well, duh, they look like weirdos. New romantic, Bartique fashion, new goth? New goth? Fucking A, man. Fucking A. Alright. Art and atmosphere. Oh, the video. There's the video diaries. Okay, so not everything. There are dev diaries and then there are video diaries. Okay. How about we look at the dev diaries first? Is there only 2? Anarchy Unbound, camera record, dialogue choices. What are we up to? Part 2. What are we up to? Developing Venture, developing Banu Hakim. Legend of Nomad. Let's go. We're almost there. What's this? Banu Hakim Assamites at the time were one of the first clans to be added to the original assembly in 1991. As such, they were less connected to the vampire archetype out of the fiction, instead modeled on the Assassin, the Order of Assassins out of Omat. At the time, yeah, they were Arabic assassin cult as vampires. Blade, Angel, Forever Night, all feature vampires. A vampire-esque Dexter as a poster child for the concept as the Cape Crusader. Clan Batman. Oh my god, really? Nico Elegant Algivo. Nico is wholly committed to living an honest life to the point where he barely is being able to keep a single thought to himself. You can find him at Aura's Pawn, surrounded by trinkets and of helpless mortals. He pleases the court by sourcing rare artifacts and by taking on special tasks for the prince, especially his infuriates to the court by refusing to deviate from using strict honorable means in all his transactions. Why the Banu Hakim sound like? What do they look like? Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Developing Ventru. Yes, we know the Ventru. Fletcher. Let's see. He survived more than one prince in Seattle, so he is a nobody. He is rubbing shoulders with other blue bloods. Educated, intelligent, and congenial. Maybe I'm just losing focus here. Pretty upscale. All right. What are we up to? Concept arts, underground area, level design, Amy Lee, lighting, narrative, sound. Okay. What are you up to? Part 2. Audio, concept art, original, variant 2, Pioneer Square, concept, financial district concepts, code and programming, design, traverse mechanics, space purpose, production. We are recording. My role in production supports a cinematic interactive dialogue pipelines, collaborating with the narrative team to deliver scripts to the VO studios. Okay. I would actually like to know who is voice acting in this game. I doubt it's going to be like the likes of Matt Mercer, but, you know. Dialogue choice system. Yeah, this is what I already talked about with the their ink plot system. Lou disliked that. Lou was irritated by that. Lou was pleased by that. Oh, so it has the you know, this person will remember from like The Walking Dead. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Piper tells Lou's entered in a private meeting and Lou's not used to this behavior from fires. She will be slightly taken back, responds with, "Someone's touchy tonight," before rejoining the branch that everyone else has took. This option we'll see. My child and I have no secrets. Do we, darling? Okay. Okay. The Camarilla Court. Okay, does it tell us who the prince is? Dominated for centuries, Camarilla is under the leadership of the prince, who declares the law, dedicates the law, maintaining the Masquerade under the prince. There are several office positions, such as Primogen, who represents the major clan, and the sheriff to enforce Camarilla law. In exploring the city will introduce to these kindred. Let's see. So we already got Silky, Fletcher, Miss Thorne. Ooh, wow, they have a Banu Hakim Primogen? That's crazy. Ooh, Fletcher is a Master of Elysium. Gotcha. Okay, here is the Prince, a Ventrue course. Of course it'd be a Ventrue. J.J. Campbell. Description. Campbell is a powerful personality. As the last century grew, he consolidated the kindred hold on the streets. As the city rose, so did Weaver Tower and the court, with tendrils into politics, business, society, and the underworld. Once Lou's protege, it is now Campbell, umbrant, perceptive, commanding, who leads Seattle into the future as Prince of the City. Lou Garham, ex-prince. In life, Lou Garham pulled all the strings of the elite in Seattle. She had the ear of politicians, criminals, blue bloods, and commoners alike. In unlife, she has spent more than a century deepening that hold. She looms over Seattle as a storm cloud, a constant factor in the choice of even the most powerful kindred, despite her absence from day-to-day politics. To badmouth Lou Graham is to badmouth the city, and the city has a habit of burying its foes down deep. Okay. Oh, okay. So the seneschal. So that lady I thought was the prince is actually the seneschal, which is basically like the right-hand man. Dragon is am I pronouncing that correctly? Let me see. Let me see how to pronounce this name, because I'm bad at pronouncing names. Because I'm bad at it, yeah. English, paste.
Ryan.
Hold on. Ryong? Okay. Ryong Choi? Ryong is a new breed, a deal maker, modern, effective, and pragmatic. With a city under threat with the Masquerade in tatters, Ryong is a calm center of the chaos, negotiating, outmaneuvering, and doing everything that must be done to maintain stability. She's not afraid to cut away dead flesh if it will help save the whole. Okay. Tully, Nosferatu, Herald. Herald. Is that the... I'm trying to remember if that is vampire. If that... Trying to remember, is that the... Oh my god, what is it called? Is that the new name for the new position? Herald, the prince's voice. What are they used to call? A harpy. Is that the new... Let's see. Example, Herald's a domain is acting. So is the harpy and the herald different? Let's see. A domain. Political power, Prince Regent. Let's see. Camarilla. What are the positions? Culture, humanity, antediluvians, Gehenna. Spawn of trolling. The Red List organization. Okay, so we have. Okay, yeah. The other offices. The Camarilla is a global organization that maintains and oversees the collective of the feudal domains, particularly in North America and Europe. It is a loose alliance lacking a strong central authority or standing military. Individual Camarilla cities are almost as ruled as by the prince, which is a sign of the Primogen, who either act as a council of advisors or hold their own measure of power. Other offices of the city include the Harpy, Keeper of Elysium, Seneschal, Sheriff, and Scourge. So the Herald is the voice of the prince. I guess I didn't know that was an actual term. All right, members of the 5th edition. So Banu Hakim, Lasamra, Malkavian, Nosferatu, Toreador, Tremere, and Venture. Because the Gangrel, the Bruja, and the Gangrel and the Bruja dipped out. Yeah, okay. So the Herald, let me see what the Herald. The Herald acts as the prince's voice, making the prince's edicts known to the domain. As an example, Herald recites the domain of politics at Elysium, speaking the result of any formal conflicts where the prince in her court defines new laws. As well, Heralds announce the arrival of August and Tidal Kindred at formal events at the Elysium. Okay, so it's all about heraldry. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So Michael Tully Triller. Most Nosferatu will hide themselves away in the world, but Tully knows how little attention today's mortals really paid to anything. The gregosary and gleeful intelligencer will be found where at least expected, always spinning webs of the court, nudging this, gathering compromising information on that. Tully knows where the bodies are buried and has probably dug them up. Critiqued their dress sense and had a long and very pointed conversation with them about their stupid indiscretions. Sorry. Okay, so this is the new sheriff, Benny. Benny is an attack dog of the court enforcer and bruiser, the bone breaker. You want him leashed up and snarl at your enemies, not biting at the heels. So get on his good side. He despises those who he sees as lesser bloodlines. He's a Bruja. And prides himself on the ability to snuff out those who are working against Seattle's best interests. If you're lucky, you'll find him standing at the prince's side. If you're less lucky, you'll encounter him elsewhere. Researcher. So you don't even have a title. You're a nobody. You're just a member of the court. Saifa is an eager enthusiast, her attention caught by theorists, facts, and the fascination of learning from both the old and the new. If the court had questions, she is the one to find answers. Her skills with thaumaturgy and her dog research technique has proven her worth to Seattle. No matter the current standing of her clan, recently she's been investigating the city's growing thin blood population, a particular concern to the court. However, her focus does tend to distance her from the more mundane world. You'll probably find her in her lab or lost in a pile of books at the Wake the Dead coffee bar. Primogen, Toreador. Isabella Moore. Isabel, queen of the nightlife, stalks her way through Seattle society as trendsetter, bon vivant, nightclub diva, the performing artist extraordinaire. For legendary events at the Altum nightclub, thrills and shocks the mortals flock to be a part of her world. There are some in the court who believe she treads precariously close to the edge of the masquerade. Jezebel wields her art like a weapon. To her, self-expression is more important than any structure. Wilhelm Axel, keeper of secret keeper. I think that's like a Nosferatu status, if I'm not mistaken. Wilhelm is the prince's archivist, keeping the centuries of secrets safe from the prying eyes of mortals and kindred alike. He long ago hid himself away from Seattle society, unwilling to show his face on the streets, but maintains his contacts amongst the kindred in the court and the underworld of the city. Wilhelm is never one to put himself forward or voice his opinions, and this might lead others to overlook him or take him for granted, but he is the trade's transgressions and depths are at his fingertips, and such knowledge can be used as a knife. And that's it. Okay. Okie dokie. So no keeper, no harpy. Interesting. Anarchs and the Unbound. Thin Bloods. Okay. The strength of each vampire's embrace is more diluted than that of their sire. Thin Bloods have earned their name because their blood seems to be too distant removed from the original progenitor. Cain, motherfucker. Most kindred consider them as weak as an weak and an embarrassment to their kind, or even a threat. Thin Bloods are not considered part of any clan, but rather the dredges of kindred society. Many view thumb builds as a risk of Masquerade due to their close ties to the mortal world, often led to their being hunted and destroyed without a second thought, overlooked and downtrodden. They band together in a form of resistance. Seattle acts as a haven of sorts. In the city, the weak-blooded are not destroyed out of hand. Instead, by order of the Prince Campbell, they must be branded to set them apart from true vampires. Only then they will be allow them to remain. Wow, they got to be branded? That's fucked up. Many have found shelter among those in the Seattle Anarchs, particularly under the watchful eye of a Bruja Katsumi, who leads one of the major Anarch groups and has, because of her involvement with the Thin Bloods, been branded as one herself. The newly minted Sheriff Fire must negotiate and delegate between the Katsumi people and the Cameroon to deal with the fact that many Anarchs and Thin Bloods don't respect anyone as leader. Seattle is a powder keg, and each faction waits for its opportunity. Some are more impatient than others. If Fire is seeking Katsumi, she may find her at the bar called the Hole in the Wall with the other misfits. And she is. And then she got a brand, even though she is a Bruja. Katsumi is a reluctant leader forced by circumstance to speak for one of the larger groups of kindred that consists of Anarchs, Thin Bloods, and the other dredges of the city. She maintains an uneasy peace with the court, keeping a lid on the demands and fears of her followers as best she can. You'll find her out in the streets among those who need her the most, or at one of the spaces she maintains to keep her charges out of trouble. In her mortal life, she used to be a surgeon, and while still trying to fix things nowadays, she is mostly doing triage. That's kind of sad. Bruja Unbound. Max Webb. Unusual placid for a Bruja and unusually submissive for a sire. Max is something of an anomaly, preferring to steer clear of both the Camarilla and the Anarchs. The only kindred Max seems to want any relationship with is his intimidating child, Benny. With his intimidating child, Ben. Wait, so Benny is his child? Or wait, what? Seems to want. The only Max seems to want relationship is with his child, Benny. While many sires would forbid their child joining the courts without them, Max seems content to live in Benny's formidable shadow. The strange dynamic between those two have raised many kindred's eyebrow, but few dare raise their voices in fear of rousing the sheriff's ire. Okay, so Max sired Benny, and that's weird. That is a weird relationship. Okay. Gangrel, hell yeah, brother. Nick, wait, is that Nick? Wait, I think this is a character. A character of... Wait, is that actual character of wait, vampire? No, I thought it was. Okay, maybe it was. I thought maybe that was actually a character. An established character. Like Damsel. Confident, brash, and not to be trifled with, Nyx loves the thrill of the hunt and fights like a beast unleashed. However, her kind are not usually city dwellers, and Nyx has little patience to adapt for navigating the intricacies of vampire politics. Nobody knows why she has suddenly appeared in Seattle, and the Camarilla are naturally suspicious, but possibly enticing a leash gangrel into their ranks is a tempting prospect. I really feel like that's like an established character. Anarchs, Thin Bloods, and Ghoul enemies. Okay. Fucking Thin Bloods. I'll kill them all. Kill them all. Take the Scourge. Building our Seattle. Okay. Wake the Dead. Okay, not much of a dev diary there. Feeding, hunting and feeding. Yeah, this is where they talk about like probably blood resonance. Yeah, like look at all the auras. Highlight vampire lust for blood while being very clear for the player's experience. Blood resonance events. Not only Seattle brought life to the people going about their own business, including NPCs reacting to the player, perhaps even running away in terror. As you move around the city, you'll be able to track and hunt NPCs that have potential to become fully resonated with a specific type of blood to feed on. Track these NPCs down with heightened senses and knowledge of the city. Then use charms, fear, or anger to convince and bend them to your will. Okay, so yes, they're going to be talking. The next one is probably, yeah, blood resonance, or the blood resonance. The kindred that we talk about our blood resonance feature. Blood resonance mechanic. Blood resonance is an important part of your journey to explore the city. It feeds, pun intended, into how your tailored fire ability matches your vampiric playstyle and fantasy. When exploring Seattle, you may find pedestrians with 1 or 3 potential resonances: melancholic, sanguine, and choleric. These are something that only a vampire knows, and you need to use your heightened senses to identify these pedestrians. Once found, you'll need to turn these pedestrians fully resonant. This is done through conversations in which you will attempt to manipulate your victim's emotions as needed. With this feature, it's important to us that the role play affected the outcome of the conversation, so the way you act throughout the game determines what conversation options are available. Also, your appearance as an important factor in this conversation, so choose your wardrobe wisely. Wow. So you actually have to like be dressed for the occasion. Interesting. If you manage to turn these pedestrians, they will be fully resonated and react accordingly. This means they might start a fight with you, run for you in terror, or find you irresistibly attractive. All of these increase the resonance of blood of the type gained on feeding on them. With the great way of gaining resonance, the only way you find events happening around the city. Okay, either way. Once you are the sheriff of Seattle, clan contacts such as Miss Thorne will offer you aid in restoring your connection to your ability of your clan by drinking their blood. The prerequisites of collecting blood requires an amount of resonance blood for the ability you to relearn. Once you collected, you can drink the clan's contract blood, adding the ability to the ability tree to unlock the ability points. Okay, there it is. There's Clan Tremere. And then there's Culture of Blood. And then other abilities. Cross clan ability combos. Combo. Your key to unlock the clan abilities beyond your clan's base set. Blood Resident opens up a lot of options for players who like to experiment. You find abilities already befitting your abilities, such as easier to unlock, and generally will suit your style of play best. For example, Banu Hakim Fire can get a hold of blood sorcery power relatively easy, but if you are committed, all abilities can eventually be gotten hold of. To collect Resonance blood faster, certain abilities introduce you to Resonance of their own. Brawl Taunt will fill people with rage, causing them to gain caloric blood resonance right away. There's some really strong ability connected. Okay, so this is probably why like the Toreador might be a DLC clan, because with their presence and their ability, they might be able to get like resonances better. Okay, so yeah, this is like abilities, Banu Hakim, Ventru, Tremere. Interesting. Visual heightened senses. Those are the calorics. Yeah, that guy's angry. Fashion matters. In-game shot of Katsumi talking to you. Visual identity of each clan can be displayed in countless vicious images. It's cruel for us to capture this as the clan's outfit. At a glance, each outfit should convey the essence of the clan, whether refined opulence of the Ventru or the sinister threat of the Banu Hakim. We work meticulously to compartmentalize and distill the visual style to the purest form, ensuring players truly feel like they're embodying their choice role. Okay. Concepts. Sculpt the fashion. Judge your outfit. Unlocking equipment and outfits. Okay. Oh, so there's like different tiers for each. Looks like each level looks like. The Rebel. Okay. Fashion in Chatter 2. Okay. Okay. Music of Seattle. Music direction. We already heard that. Bass band. Okay. Did I do Sound Seattle already? Oh no. Oh, this is like the environments. Traversal materials, traversal movements, city sense, and okay. Legend of Nomad. Happy New Year and welcome to a fresh and tasty dev diary for the team at Chinese Room. We're starting the year by talking about the player character Fire and how you could shape their legend and add to your play as you see below your story. We'll start wearing rags, but will this end in riches? See how this fades in your hands. Elder of your choosing. Nomad is a legend among kindred. Their names have been whispered for 400 years. They have their presence in revolutions, on battlefields, at slaughter, and the fall of the princes. They've escaped the situation, causing them or taking joy in the red wrath of and ruin. Okay. But I guess we're being cursed. We're cursed by something. The themes behind the Nomad. In Bloodlines 2, the matter of the history takes the front seat. The protagonist of the centuries old, while it may change up things up to survive, adapt and keep pace with the march of time, they're nonetheless garnered something of a reputation. If a time-immune forensic detective were to compare the various crime scenes at the human history, they would no doubt find one of the set of fingerprints consistently. May you live in interesting times, etc., etc., etc. By playing an elder who was a bold choice to move forward without leaning into unique opportunities that provides for roleplay would be a missed opportunity. Okay. Blue, Pry, or Phi. Excuse me. Art direction. Okay. Let's see. Advanced combat and weapons. Damn. Premiere has a bit more reach to let you maintain distance, and Brujas are, well, punch stuff. Okay. Okay. Well timed. A counterattack. Okay. And then kinetics. Okay. You have thaumaturgy, apparently. And same thing with holding up a gun. Takes the gun. Fucking gravity control, man. It's like fucking movement of the mind type bullshit. Let's see. Explosives. Okay. Elixir. Many elixir instantly restores health, allowing you to avoid final death. Blood elixir. Potent elixir allows you to boost your strength, increasing damage caused by attacks. Forward to elixir. Okay. So this is like thin blood, yeah. Our setting of Seattle features a large population of thin bloods. Weaker vampires use alchemy to create powerful elixirs that gives access to vampire powers that otherwise would not. As you explore, you can find and collect these elixirs, then give you the edge in combat. Okay. Ability combos. Okay. Using Cauldron of Blood to draw everyone to a screaming victim, and then picking one of them to explode with Blood Curse can cause a blast and a lot of crowd away before it even gets close to fighting. And when it does go wrong, as it always will eventually, the quick Blood Curse on a ghoul chasing you can serve as a very handy projectile if you kick them into the people behind them. Okay. Everybody's invulnerable. What about exploding gas? Nobody's invulnerable to an exploding gas bottle technically thrown at their head. They're easier aim to lock with mass manipulation. Even everyone else falls when you can just use possession on a ghoul and makes them jump somewhere nobody will notice. Oh wow, you just okay. That's crazy. He just used possession to do a kill move, which is one of the things I love that they added in 5th edition. They made possession actually like you can actually do like kill command through possession. Hard. The difficulty. Okay. All right. So we got that Dev Diary, the Masquerade in Seattle, Stalking. The 1st edition is the Masquerade. Masquerade mechanic. In the World of Darkness, the Masquerade refers to the efforts made by kindred to conceal their existence from humanity to ensure their survival. This secrecy is vital, as widespread knowledge of their existence would lead to a catastrophic response from humans, ultimately resuming in the destruction of kindred society. In Bloodlines 2, you maintain a Masquerade. Failure to do so will result in swift stakes through your heart. To help monitor your actions, their Masquerade meter at the top of your screen consists of 2 key parts. The eye symbol. There's an eye open to indicate someone is currently watching you. It's the best performed vampiric activities out of sight of human witnesses. The bar around the eye. This bar will fill up and will cause committing acts that breach the Masquerade. The progression of the bar occurs in 3 stages: Appeave, Caution, and Engage Broken. Okay. That's easy. Cast Immortals. Okay. Paranoia or Pandora Graves. A go-karters of Pandora stumbles across a bar in Seattle in velvet and eyeshadow, knowing too much about the kindred and yet knowing very little about life. Who is she really? Who has been feeding her information? And had she realized how close she is to death? It's unlikely. She seems to have a case of the main character syndrome. Oh my god. My god. Okay. Viorna de Lancy left her wealthy parents to come to Seattle to find a little excitement, given the elegant choreographed death threat she just found on her purse after a night on the town. She has achieved her aim. Okay. Dale Bleacher. I think this is a thin blood. Dale's a laid back, almost horizontal. He's certainly aware that kindred exists, but only in the same way that he's aware that cleaning product exists or personal hygiene. They're out there. Occasionally cross paths with them, but wouldn't call them anything close companions. Mr. Lemon. No one knows what Mr. Lemon's real name is, but it's okay because neither does he. He's been in a SPD drunk tank for a few days now and still hasn't sobered up. He keeps remembering about citrus fruit and seems to think Seattle might be his mother. Guru. There are a few people in Seattle who claim the sense of out of the ordinary. Guru talks about seeing ghosts, but that doesn't seem to disrupt him. He usually can be found close to the rest of his biker near the Dutchman bar. Carla used to be a dedicated pharmacist or dedicated paramedic, but somewhere along the way something went wrong and she parted ways with her employers. You'll still find her out on the streets though, helping where she can, dispensing medicine that she has gone through less than legitimate means. Reggie is a bum. He's philosophically about it. He has his own view of the city, how the city functions, and where he can make a difference. He haunts Pioneer Square and usually has a good idea what's going on in nearby streets. Ugh, wow. Marigold. Is a familiar figure of the streets near Altram. She's been pining her trades to pass John's for a long time now. Her side gig is prognosticating through astrology. Whether her predictions are accurate, who knows? She believes with her whole heart. Shelby was a trader in a major finance organization until 6 months ago when she was granted a revelation. She now walks the street of uptown Seattle, making sure everyone is aware of the upcoming rapture. According to Shelby, it is nothing to fear. Officer Wheeler. Wheeler is a solid, dependable officer of the Seattle Police Department, though he does have problems with his memories from time to time and is aware that everything isn't quite as it should be. It's possible best to focus on the things that he does understand, like desk duty, and not to think too hard about the rest, because he's been mind powered like forever and a day. Just mind taken. What happens when you dominate a person for so long? You're just like blah. Mortal outcomes. Okay. Hunters. Tonight we introduced you to another, the IAO. Information and Awareness Office spearheads the U.S. government response to the blank body threat. While officially defunded, it operates on a large black budget that allows its hunters to face the undead under a guise of training missions and counter-terrorist strikes. Agent Baker, the IAO. Agent Baker's pragmatic and methodical. She leads the IAO in its mission to investigate the blank body presence in Seattle. She's doggedly followed up on any suspicion deaths and disappearances and re-examines historical events to achieve her goal to understand the monsters that she hunts so that their elimination can be absolute. The agent under her command respect her and give her the nickname, which is she proudly bears Mother Hen. The first and foremost of the AIO need to be repeated different types of enemies that the player would have already encountered in the game. As opposed to the rough and ready anarchs, the IAO are highly trained paramilitary forces hunting a very specific type of prey. From their hard leather padded extremities or the glaring haze of their thermal weapons, we really want the IAO to both look and feel like an adversarial force of elder vampire an adversarial force an elder vampire would think twice about attacking. The IAO are humans and thus use technology and tactics to fight their foe, so it was important that we convey the range of enemies and the threat that poses to fire as visually and distinctive as possible. Range enemies have large hooded ponchos framing their piercing eyes from range, and more up front melee enemies have wide dynamic stances as they swing their thermal batons at you. The weapons are military grade, so overall feel harder, heavier, and built for a specific purpose. The IAO may not have the perks of ghouls or vampires, but they're a formidable foe using technology to their advantage. One of the favorite quests to work on is Pyro explores the AIO stronghold in Harbor Island, which is heavily guarded both inside and out of the AIO agents. Okay. Hunters.
I admire your research. Perhaps it's time we met face to face.
Garlic and holy water are myths. Jury's out on stakes and crucifixes. You crisp up real well with fire or sunlight.
Damn.
I will fear no evil, for thou art with me.
Your god will not follow you here.
Sealed your fate.
Okay. Alrighty. And that's it. That's all the dev diaries. Banu Hakim.
Tell me, Willem, what rumors have you heard about me?
That you were there in Cairo. They called you the Slayer.
And what will I be to you, Willem? And to this lonely, forgotten warehouse?
Lonely, forgotten warehouse. Playable clan. Oh, that's celerity. That's kind of cool. Banu Hakim.
You're exactly what he said you'd be. I guess that makes it easier.
Makes what easier?
What happens next?
Coming fall 2024. Okay. Let's see. I want to look at the Tremere. There's got to be screenshots. There's no video? Oh, where second playable clan. Tremere. I think I saw this one too. Yeah, I think I saw this one too. I think I actually showed this on stream because I was so excited. Tremere. My clan, baby. My clan. Best clan in A. No weaknesses. Best clan in A. All right. What to do? I think we went all the diaries. Upcoming winter release. What is next for Bloodline 2? We've already looked at that. Let's see La Sombra. Shadow Cloak, Arms of the Abyss, Shadow Step, Glimpse of the Oblivion, Inter Oblivions. Oh fuck, what do you pronounce that? I used to the Stygian Shroud. You are subscribed. I know I'm subscribed. Yeah, I think let's see, we've been 3 hours talking about Vampire. Guys. We've been talking about Vampire for 3 hours, man. Wow. I gotta go to bed. It is late AF for me. I don't usually stay up this late, but I wanted to talk about this subject because it's very important to me. The history. I'll probably take a look at the stream tomorrow and the gameplay. Maybe they might address the DLC controversy. Who knows? I doubt it. I seriously doubt, though. Like I said, there's probably I got not like a pizza bet going, but I definitely have a bet going with a friend of the show, Fig Nuts, Rivethead, where it may or may not be too crazy to think that they might make it like a pre-order bonus. They might do it for free, or like they might make it free for a limited time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But tomorrow, they'll be doing the gameplay stream. Then afterwards, like they have like a whole, like I said, like a whole timeline of videos that are going to be coming out. So we'll definitely check up on those, because I'm just, it's hard. It's real hard, man. It's real hard sometimes to like imagine what, it's just hard. It's like talking about all the earlier stuff this evening about like the gatekeeping and my obsession and how long I've been a part of this community of players. And yeah, it's really, I'm excited, but I'm also, I have found a new home. I don't think I will ever be as devoted to World of Darkness ever again, just because, like I said, that obsession put me in a very weird place with people and relationships, and you know, it didn't pan out. I did not get what I wanted. I wanted to be part of this World of Darkness in a more structured like involvement. I would have moved to Stockholm. I would have moved to Stockholm and been a part of this IP. Like I would have just moved my whole entire life. And I know so much about this game and the lore and the community and the history, but I don't think I could contribute much anymore, except for maybe a story here or there. If you're watching, White Wolf, let me do Mage. Let me help you. I can help you with Mage. Mage is my go-to. If there's anything I'm still obsessed over, it's Mage. Vampire, you can keep your Vampire. I put it to rest. I don't need to necessarily be a steward of that IP anymore. But Mage, my God, like the way truth and lies with social media and politics and the advancement of like culture and technology, like the traditions versus the technocracy, man. I have so many ideas, man. So many ideas. So if you're watching later on my YouTube, hit me up. All my info's down in the description. Doobly-doo. But I'm gonna call it there for now. We'll keep up with the shenanigans of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I think it's shaping out to be a pretty decent game. I'm not gonna call it's by no means game of the year, but I definitely believe that it has some leg. It has some potential to be a very entertaining game. I had to by sheer principle. I think it was my second game. The first game I locked in was Ghost of Yotei. That I had to pick Ghost of Yotei because if I wasn't going to pick that, somebody else was going to. But my second pick for my fantasy game critics was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I have full confidence in that game. Will score in the mid 80s. Who knows? It might surprise. Will it be like a Expedition 33 or maybe even a Death Stranding 2 or a Split Fiction? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm definitely gonna be there day one, playing it for you all. Just kind of go back and reminisce over this timeless classic of an IP that is Vampire the Masquerade, and has been such a huge part of my life. And it's been a struggle to deal with. I'm gonna be real, because of that obsession, because my expectations, because my entitlement, because of the trauma, because of all those things leading to it. I've found a new home. I feel the FGC, the fighting game community, would have been, if it weren't for me obsessing over role-playing games and exploring those worlds of darkness or Pinnacle for Deadlands or all the multitude of other tabletop role-playing games I played throughout the years, I think my trajectory would have been the fighting game community. I've always had a passion and love for fighting games. So kind of returning back to my origins of fighting games has been quite like Evo and meeting people, meeting new friends, rediscovering the community that I was a part of, the history of the FGC, like how I was there in the Bay when Daigo and Alex Valle fought. I was delivering I was helping my cousin my cousin working at Sega America, delivering those fucking cabinets. And we took those cabinets to Battle of the Bay where it happened. And so it's like, I can't believe I have such a huge connection to both these two communities. And it's like, wow, I can't believe the life I've led. Like, I've met these people like Jason Carl and all these other, great folks I've worked on, the, Outstar and the casts of LA by Night, and, these people who I fantasize being, right? The fantasy of actually being a part of those things officially. And the obsession of the official, the official mantle of like acceptance was toxic. But I later figured out in life that I don't need those things to make it official. Like, my stories were profound and powerful, and my friends enjoyed them. And that's what really came down to, was that I brought amazing entertainment and amazing stories to my friends. And those are the things I should focus on, and not the fact that like these stories are like tears in the rain and they'll be forgotten unless they're behind the content, right? Content land that we all live in now, right? That I'm like slowly becoming despised. I'm like, oh, I hate content land. But there's certain content that is great and good, and I think it still exists, and I think it's still out there for us to see and to experience, and there's stories that we can still share, and I still want to share those stories. So maybe one day I might return to World of Darkness and be a storyteller, but for now I am working on my own game, my own tabletop role-playing game called Fifth Conspiracy. That is even crazier than World of Darkness. You can play anything. You can play an angel, you can play a demon, an alien, a witch, a mage, a vampire, a fucking a god. It's crazy. I love it, and I'm glad I'm working on that game. And it for a long time it did fuel my spite to be like, ooh, I'm gonna make I'm gonna make my own World of Darkness, but it's gonna have blackjacks and hookers but then I'm like, no, I'm making something I think that, well, the spirit of World of Darkness had before, which is the realm of possibility, where I think that doesn't exist as much anymore. It's that they're trying to recover and maintain their IP, and they're not really exploring. They're not really trying to evolve Vampire the Masquerade. They're not really trying to enrich the story between the clans and the sects, because they've already destroyed one sect, and they just like, well, there's Thin Bloods and now Anarchs, and things have kind of shifted around, but you kind of knew that was going to happen. You knew the Brujah were going to leave, and and the Gangrel were basically 1 foot out of the clan anyways. And then fuck it, now that the Sabbat doesn't exist anymore, let's fucking bring the Lasombra. Let's bring the Lasombra in so that the Venture have somebody to bitch about. So yeah. But maybe one day we will return to the World of Darkness in some capacity. But if I'm going to be role-playing anything, it will definitely be Fifth Conspiracy. Go check it out. fifthconspiracy.com. Fifth Conspiracy is my game. If I can find a stupid link to it. If I can find a link to it. This is my website. Yes, this is my website. Fifth Conspiracy. Yeah. You are being lied to. Discover the truth. Join our mailing list. Join the Discord. There's a Patreon. Is there a Patreon? There is. Steven, my homie, my co-producer. Hey, are we shit talking Bloodlines 2? No, well, not. I was actually, to be fair, I was. If we were talking about the only thing that we were talking about that's like, I guess you would say the shit talking was the fact that they had a whatchamacallit. They had the DLC behind the paywall was pretty bad. Ooh, that's loud. What the fuck? Whoa, wait. What the hell? Why did that? Why did that jump to hello? Hello? That was weird. That is, why did my music jump from a different? Bro. I'm not signed in. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm like my video. So the only way I could get music to show on stream is if why is it showing on? Okay, that's the first issue I've had with my new mixer. Why is it on Virtual B? One sec, chat. Why did it? This is weird. One sec, chat. Why is it going? So why is it not going through my music now? Huh. Why is this not going through music? Interesting. Why are you not working now? Can you please? Okay, that plays. Why? Interesting. Why is it that when I play this track, okay, now it's working. That's weird. Okay. That's weird. Alrighty. Sorry. That was like, it was like going through a virtual signal that I didn't even assign. I was like, why is this going through a virtual signal that I'm not even assigned to? Crazy. Anyways, I think they're gonna announce something about the DLC tomorrow, apparently. I don't think so. So they even, like, I was even bringing up on earlier in the broadcast that I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think that I think they're just gonna, they might politely tease it, because it even says right here, hi, we're listening to you about the La Sombra and Toreador clan access, and we're making adjustments to reflect this. We will share more information about this as soon as possible. Like I said, I don't think, and then Co-Carnage, which, you know, say what you will about Co-Carnage. I don't know why he has the ability to just call Paradox Interactive, or has some sort of optics with Paradox Interactive, but he says, just got out of a meeting with Paradox Interactive about the direction of Vampire Masquerade Bloodline 2. I'm cautiously optimistic. Thanks to them for listening. And then you're advising on development for them. He's like, no, not at all. This was purely focused on a Vampire Masquerade 2 current public situation and my suggestion on how to remedy it. And so my basically critique is that they're probably going to, what's it called? They're probably going to have it to where, God, I'm like spacing out all of a sudden. They're probably going to have it to where the DLC is going to be free for like the first 30 days or something, or they might try to incentivize people to pre-order so that you'll get the DLC as a pre-order bonus. But there are people like me and a few other people who participated in the old Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines to ARG that basically got free copies of the DLC added to our accounts, depending on how much blood points they got. Unfortunately, for some reason, I participated in the ARG and got like everything solved, but it didn't give me like as many blood points as other people. Like my friend Dan, he got enough blood points where he got the premium edition, and I'm only getting the deluxe version. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do to like screw this up? But yeah, it's weird. It's weird that, and I was talking about this earlier in the stream too, where the they should have just made the because the design is there already with the Clan La Sombra with Obtenebration with Oblivion and Tabletop, because Oblivion is like a shared discipline between La Sombra and the Hakata, which is the Clan of Death, like the Giovanni or the Cappadocians or Harbingers of the Skull. Maybe they should have just made the DLC just those two clans, the La Sombra and the Hakata. And then as an additional roadmap, they'd be like, oh, and we're gonna add Gangrel and like Malkavian. But apparently you're playing a Malkavian as well. You're playing a detective. So you're already playing the clan Malkavian in the game already. So you're just like, it's weird. It's like, it's such a weird game, and I'm kind of excited for it a little bit. I am a little bit excited about the game, but yeah, they you know, in typical White Wolf fashion, they gotta botch it somehow, and especially with this DLC. Which, and this is the problem. This is my ultimate problem with this, right? So you look at companies buying out stuff and getting the return, right? Disney buys Star Wars and Lucasfilms for like, what was it, like 50 million or something? And then like Disney buys Marvel for like 100 million or something. Like there's this like scope of like return, right? Do you know how much it cost Paradox to buy the World of Darkness IP? $1 million. That's it. $1 million. And I'm like, you have this rich history of games that are at your like of stories and clans and lore and everything at your disposal, and you don't think you've gotten a return of your $1 million yet? And I think I'm like, yeah, they probably haven't, because they haven't really made a game to kind of touch that ceiling of $1 million. And I think this is going to be the first time they're going to try to see if this IP pays off, if this game will reach that $1 million investment that it took to buy the World of Darkness and White Wolf IP from CCP, the guys who do EVE Online, because they bought it because they wanted to make an MMO, and then they realized that fuck that, we don't want to make an MMO anymore with this IP. It's hell. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to include all clans. I don't think there's going to be like a DLC path. I think like there was something, there was like this video that Game Informer put out that was like, ask 100 questions. And one of the questions was like, oh, if vampires have these unique curses, what is your guys' curse? And the lead developer was like, this game. Like he said it with such ire too, that he was like, you finally hit Master Rank and Strike, congratulations. And I think that's because like the development hell of this game, from Hard Suit Labs, from the original guys of Troika, and like the game philosophy and design there, which I think, go watch my YouTube, go check out my YouTube channel when this gets posted. I've talked about all this stuff at the beginning of the broadcast, but yeah, like it's been a wild ride for Paradox, that Paradox just wants to, they're just like, fuck it, man, we are done. We just want, and I'm assuming other people who are attached to this game in any capacity are also done. They just want to move on with their lives, and just say, hey, look, we've made the game, we've made the impossible game a reality. Let us move on. And like I said, if its return investment is like we've reached that $1 million, like, and exceed that $1 million, and it does become like the cult classic of like the original Bloodlines, then I'll be more than happy. But like everything that I've played, that I've experienced from Paradox's ownership of Vampire has been pretty weak. The visual, like this game, all the Vampire Masquerade, the Shadows of New York, and the other like the Coteries of New York, like the, oh my god, Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. Oh my god, that was such a fucking disappointment of a game. Oh, Earthblood was so bad. It was like straight, like if you want a time machine of like 2000, late 2000 era, like combat and like game design, play Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. It is a bad game, and it's not even like a good bad game. It's just a bad game that you're just like, wow, this was like made in like 2014, like just like recent, like not that far, not that long ago. I actually have Earthblood queued up on October to play. Dude, it is. Ooh, rough is a hard, like not even describing how bad that game is. And I remember going to E3 and talking to the devs and just trying to get every bit of lore, just nitpicking, like give us any insight to Werewolf the Apocalypse, like what the new, the new V5 of Werewolf was. And then we got, did you get the Tokon email? I don't think I did. I mean, I could double check right now, but, is it like, should I be getting it like soonish? I didn't think I was supposed to be getting it this soon. But yeah, I'm definitely, I just hope this is a decent game. And if it is a decent game, that it will be one of those games that we can just kind of like celebrate in and not be like this was a total shit fest. Like my expectation right now, it has to be better than Earthblood. If it's as bad or worse than Earthblood, then fucking just burn it all to the ground. At that point, just stick to tabletop role-playing games. Just asking. No, I haven't received it yet. I don't think we'll be I haven't seen any like news of it breaking out yet. So, but IDK Pedro, if you want to check out, and anybody wants to check out the broadcasts, the past broadcasts, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/AdamWarShow. All the stuff's down there in the links in my Twitch page. If you want to check out the lives tab, it'll be there. Because I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but I was getting ready to go to bed anyways. It's pretty late. We've had a pretty long broadcast, just talking heads. But we'll be back reviewing all the other timeline stuff that they have for us, like the tomorrow, which is the gameplay reveal. They have a bunch of stuff queued up, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. There it is. So what do we have in store? Latest news. So tomorrow is the Fabian gameplay trailer. Oh no, that was already revealed already. Sorry. The live stream gameplay with Outstar, and Debbie, who are the two community leads. Then September 3rd, we have the Clan Ventrue breakdown. September 10th is Clan Tremere. September 17th is Clan Bruja. September 24th is Bon Joaquin, aka Assamites. Never forget. October 1st, the voice acting cast. I'm kind of excited about that. See if we see any familiar faces. October 8th, Clan La Sombra, and October 15th, Clan Toreador. And then October 21st is the release date. So, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. And I'll be back. I'm not sure if I'll be back tomorrow. I definitely will be back on Thursday. We'll probably be playing some Xenogears for the most part. And yeah. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Let me see if I'm gonna raid somebody real quick. Who are we gonna raid? We're gonna raid. Who is still up is raidable. Is she raidable? I like her. Let me double check if I can actually raid her channel. She's a, oh my god, come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess we can. All right, we're gonna raid our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.